There we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Awaken Pixels, the old school video game RPG TTRPG, as fun to play as it is to say. My name is Thomas, I am the game master this evening, and I'm joined by my wonderful players. Say hello, wonderful players. And our guest this evening is Nymeria. Thank you so much for joining us, and getting so wonderfully dressed up for this character you're going to grace us with. I'm very excited.
As am I. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Alright, so let's begin. Right now, in the world of Phantasria, we have a gigantic energy cyclone known as the Maya in the center of the world, slowly growing and absorbing more and more of the landscape with it as it goes, threatening to crash the game in an unbreakable glitch. We also have our heroes currently resting up, waiting for the final elemental orb to appear, so they might gain both the mechanical and story power required to counteract something so vile and terrifying and powerful. But right now, in the dreaded Blightlands, where the forces of chaos are currently preparing for yet another assault, we see a coastline that is blasted and corrupted with the energy of evil video game characters, and there is a steel fleet here of mechanical ships that are ready to get sailing and raiding and kidnapping of Phantasria's people. Standing on the bow of one of those ships is none other than the Vile Lord himself, and at his side, his newest ally, none other than Rosalind the Fairy. Rosalind, while you're standing on this ship, and you kind of look out and see all these forces, is there anything going through your mind at this time?
Honestly, she's just kind of looking at. I keep telling you that it's really bad for your PR to just kidnap people randomly. If you want to improve your image so people stop leaving you, you have to at least seem reasonable.
The Vile Lord sort of doesn't turn to you, but kind of still looks out at the fleet and says, "Look, I just don't know if image is really all that important when you can just dominate the world, you know?"
Okay, but how's that going so well for you? Because you have zero friends left.
I have you, and I have many loyal soldiers, their loyalty increasing by the second. Things are going pretty great for me, actually.
I agree it's going well, but as your soldiers keep awakening more and more, they're gonna start thinking, do I want to hang out with a guy who feeds my friends to a candy machine? And they're gonna be like, maybe I could do better. I'm just saying. And we have to think of long term here. It was just,
You do raise some good points. You certainly do. I feel like you have a vendetta against my candy machine, and I had to work very hard to get that thing, so
I feel like it's a waste of resources. Listen, okay? I know of something that teaches people and helps them improve. Instead of just wasting people, which is the most valuable resource of all, think of how far I've come. Think of how far Stu's come with just a little bit of adventuring. You could be sending out parties to grow themselves and get stronger. We could have people who could access the code themselves, who could learn skills, who could get guns, who could get really big bombs, but instead you're eating them. It's such a waste of resources.
it's so much faster, though. Anyway, you raise a very good point, though. Where exactly did you get all these fancy powers of yours?
See, I still haven't got my unicorn.
We're going to see.
Well, I want a unicorn. I will give you this information in return for the unicorn. That's the final offer.
Roll. What would this be? Forceful, I think. To
Forceful for
simply,
negotiating.
yeah, to negotiate a unicorn in this deal because I love that so much.
I bet she's like his PR consultant now.
Yeah. So that's a
Oh!
-2. Would you like to alter that in any way?
Yeah, I'm gonna. That's because I rolled chance. That makes way more sense.
Oh, okay. Yes. That makes
Chance does not have good force. I was like, how did Rosalind do so bad at forceful? Okay, it's a +2, and I'm gonna use reckless and dangerous to add another 2.
Should give it
Okay.
a 4.
Playing hardball with the most powerful entity in this game for a unicorn definitely seems reckless and dangerous. So yes, a 4. You can see that the Vile Lord sort of looks at you with a stare that's slightly scary for a second. Just kind of like this sort of hidden temper that could potentially be unleashed. But then you very quickly see this kind of look on his face of, well, you heard the woman. Somebody find me a damn unicorn already. And immediately a bunch of Chaos soldiers start shuffling around, just like, alright, yep, unicorn, here we go, off they go, and start running around, desperately trying to see how they're going to accomplish something like that with extremely limited time and resources. Meanwhile, you can see that the sort of soldiers mounting up on these ships are quite scary looking. These are clearly the most sort of amplified of the forces of chaos who have been benefiting from the canification of other creatures, which, thanks to you and Stoobs, a massive wrench was thrown into that particular operation. But these seems like the elite forces, and you realize you're not entirely sure where you're going or what the plan is. You sort of just got swept up in doing wicked things.
Is the scary assassin guy here?
You don't see him, but that doesn't mean he's not here.
Does he have a name?
He does, actually, yes. At this point, do you think you've learnt it?
No.
That's fair. That's perfectly fair. Yeah, that's as far as you could tell, he's not here.
Okay.
The captain, however, who, is now inhabiting the essence of Tinsel's power, is on one of the ships with you.
I don't like that one very much. I was gonna ask someone else what's going on, but now that I think about it, I kind of don't like anyone else here except for the Chaos Lord. He's pretty chill, so I think I'll just continue asking him.
So, what are we doing?
He sort of looks to one of his lieutenants and says, "It's time. Get the boats ready." And he looks back to you and he says, "We're pushing the final piece into place for my grand plan."
Right. That tells me absolutely nothing, but it sounds ominous.
Isn't it mysterious? Oh, I'm so excited. Would you like to do an evil laugh with me?
Yeah, totally. That sounds fun.
All right, let's do this. And we zoom away from this ridiculous scene, soaring high into the pixelated skies of Phantasria, far across the ocean, across the tumultuous cyclone, rending the game in twain, and to the much the heavily wooded lands of oh goodness, what was its generic terrible name?
Elfwood.
Nope, that's the name of the city. What's the name of the woods? It is
Is it just like the haunted woods? I feel like.
there's the spirit jungle, that's for sure. Oh no, I'm
I
rolling
honestly
low
can't
for remembering
remember.
my own things. The Verdant Forest is what it is called. Yes, we go there as soon as the game, actually loads the damn place in after a bit of stuttering. And yeah, we go to Elfwood, the secretive, hidden glade city of the elves of Phantasria, and we go to a tavern, a simple, elegant tavern where Stoobs, her new ally Chance, and the Wicked Witch all sit around a table, drowning their sorrows and preparing for what comes next. So Stoobs and Chance, what's going on?
I think honestly, chances just gonna kind of like go up to Stoobs at this point, and it's just like, the stars don't really like you very much.
The stars don't like me very much. That makes sense. That really, it honestly makes a lot of sense. Not gonna lie.
But I think that what you're doing here is worth defying the stars.
Knowing you, that is a very high compliment. Thank you.
Chance, you immediately notice because you've got the very rare artifact of the game map laid out on the table in front of the three of you, waiting for the dreadship to return, so you might gather the final elemental orb. You actually notice as you sort of play around with it and test its zooming features, and you zoom in on Elfwood, you notice that the very tavern that you're in is one of the few places in the entire world that has not been 100% explored. There's still a little speck of unexplored patch on the map here.
I feel compelled to complete this. I don't like seeing it uncompleted. I have to go complete this, excuse me.
Okay, and as Chance gets up to explore, the Wicked Witch takes this moment to turn to you, Stoobs, and she says, I just wanted to apologize if I was a tad callous with you and your companions earlier. This is all still very new to me.
New to everyone. We've been awake for what, a few weeks?
It
Maybe?
feels like eons at this point, but you are correct.
Feels like we're just kind of stuffing like 7 years into like 1 week at this point.
Yeah, I know
Kind
the
of feels
feeling.
ridiculous.
If I may be candid, Stoobs, I am quite envious of you. No, I'm serious. You are somebody who has... Well, from as far as I understand, you've come from a speck and turned into a beautiful display of fireworks, metaphorically speaking. Whereas I was supposed to be some sort of grand mage and advisor, and what did it get me? A bunch of people I never liked, a cause I never really believed in, and then I lost even that. All I've ever done is lose things.
I mean, while we still have the drunk effect going, and you know we're being honest with each other.
Is that what's happening? I hate it.
Yeah, you see this. Yeah, the status effect above your head definitely has gone beyond the tipsy meter at this point. But you know, I gained a lot. You know, I was a sign in the starter village. And then, like, I could move and I could do things, and, like, I had all of this knowledge just shoved into my head, and it was great. Like, I had my best friend, and, you know, I will tell you one thing. I would give up the internet, the bipedal form, if it would bring Rosalind back. Okay. Like, yeah, I gained everything, but it's bullshit. And I lost everything too. So I cheers her, and I'm just like, you're
Clink.
working through it on your own pace.
All we can do, really. And you both down your drinks. Meanwhile, Chance, you head over to sort of the corner of the tavern, and you see there's like a little sort of curtain that you can sort of just part to reach a different area of the tavern, and you find yourself in some kind of gambling parlor that has yet to be explored. And you know, there's some beautiful plants here, as there are in many places in Elfwood, and tables with games set up and everything. But the thing that strikes you the most is in the corner, there is a single lone elf man sitting at a table, and he has with him a deck of cards and an exclamation point above his head.
Side quest. Side quest. Side quest.
I run to it.
When you go to interact with the man, he kind of looks up to you and he says, "Greetings there, traveler. Would you be interested in the most rapidly growing game in Phantasria?"
Life itself is a game, good sir. One that we all are divined by the stars to play.
I see. So is that a yes or a no?
It's a yes.
Okay, you sit down in front of this guy and he starts shuffling the cards and he says, "Tell me, have you ever played Went before?"
No.
and then suddenly before you a dialogue box appears, and it says, "Would you like to learn how to play Went? Accept, refuse."
Except.
Bloop. Suddenly, dimensions from here, in a place where a sort of gathering ground for tutorial creatures. Gwentolyn, you are currently sitting about a table, comforting a adorable bunny mascot who is currently sobbing, and he is just saying, "They just skip through everything I say. I never get listened to. I have so much good things to give, and match 3's a hard game. Sometimes you need some good strategies to get, the best high scores, but they just ignore me."
There, my love. You know that the other tutorial AIs, we love you for who you really are. You're just doing your best.
He
You're
takes his
just
ears
doing your
and
best.
just,
That's all you can do.
"Oh, you're so nice,
Aw.
Gwendolyn. Oh, I just really need a friend to be with me right now." And then suddenly, in your brain, you get a ping, signifying that somebody is in desperate need of a tutorial, concerning card games specifically.
Hold that thought. I'll be right back here later tonight, and we'll make sure that everything's all good. Take it, maybe we can watch a movie, get some popcorn. Yeah. We'll do something nice together. Okay. I'll be right back.
Okay. And then you turn. Do you have any kind of gear that you gather up before you go and depart on one of these adventures?
I always have my it shrinks down to the size of a pack of cards, but it's basically like the collection of all of the cards in my game. I
Yes.
always have that with me, and it's in kind of like a little belt pocket holster. But other than that, I've done this tutorial so many times I could literally do it in my sleep, and I have.
Fantastic. Yeah. When you start to depart, you manage to traverse through some kind of mystical device that allows you to sort of enter different worlds and sort of help those in need. And as you step through this place, it is like you're going down a massive corridor. You sort of see a night sky surrounding you as you enter the lands of Phantasria. Do you think you've ever been to Phantasria before?
If they have card games there, yes, I have.
They do, but it seems like the players never started the collectible card game side quest, and thus it has gone neglected this entire time.
I think it's something that, like when I did my recertification, my recertification training at work, it was something that I basically like got my credit hours in, but I never actually got to practice it on
Right.
the job. So I'm just like, oh yes, okay, this tutorial. Okay, cool. It's been a
Yes.
while. Yeah.
And yeah, suddenly your entire being and form is shunted to the area where you are requested, and chance before you suddenly, in a sort of puff of smoke, this incredible tutorial helper appears. Would you like to describe your character?
Yeah, so Gwentolyn, when she's in kind of like her tutorial mode, kind of appears from like the waist up as a little window that just comes down at like the bottom of your screen. She's got very similar to what I have, long fantasy gown, long blonde hair, pointy ears, and a little like pinkish flower crown. She's got some like freckles across her nose and her cheeks, and she's just like, "Welcome to the inn, traveler, here to shuffle the deck."
Yes, I always play by fate.
Ooh, we've got a real metagamer here. I like it. Awesome. Okay, not to go off script too much, but first things first, have you ever played a card game before?
Yes, the cards themselves dictate my choices. I have many that tell me different things.
Ooh, excellent. Well, here's a couple to get you started and add to like your inventory. Basically like 20 very basic cards that have things like a wild boar that has a small little attack value next to it,
Here, I'll
a
add it.
healing potion, a random generic human fighter guy with a sword and shield.
So now the starter deck aspect is in play.
Yes.
I see.
And does one of them create anti-gravity rooms, since that's been an issue in the past?
Oh no, dear, you're gonna have to work really hard to open that legendary. Everything in this game is totally random, so whenever you open a pack, you never know what you're gonna get, although you are guaranteed one rare or better card every single time.
I'm confused. This sounds like my life already.
Then you'll fit right in here. Now, here's everything that you need to get started playing the fantastical game of Went. And she just starts going off on the spiel there.
As you go through countless tutorials explaining the various arcane rules of this sort of mini-game within the greater RPG of Phantasia, Stoobs, as you and the Wicked Witch get more and more tipsy by the second, you actually feel a little ping, and it is not the codec. This is actually something from your instant messenger, and you see you got a new message.
Oh, it must be Duncan. I open it.
You see it is indeed from Duncan. His little avatar is just like a little pumpkin head. And he sent you a message that says, "Need to meet in person, important info, they are," and then an ear emoji.
I type in understood location ?
And he sends back a star emoji.
I sent back house emoji
he
to
sends
confirm.
he sends back thumbs up emoji.
Okay. I am going to send. Is there a? I think there is a little like Wicked Witch emoji, right? Like at least there wasn't like a holiday pack or something.
You have the Phantasria's like 8-bit emoji pack, I think. So yeah, there's a little pixelated Wicked Witch head.
Yeah, so I'm going to put that in okay/safe ?
He sends back a bunch of question marks.
Never mind.
And then he just
I'm
simply
just
sends
gonna-
back the emoji just going shh. As if to say super secret hush hush.
Okay.
All right. Meanwhile, you hear the sounds of a lot of people cheering nearby. Chance, go ahead and roll a clever roll for me to see how well you do in this game, and we'll give you an automatic +2 thanks to Gwendolyn's help that she gave you in the tutorial.
So I don't think Chance would do very well, because I think she would just focus on like the one attack card that had a star on it and just keep playing that one over and over again, because that's the right answer. Like, that's the right answer. There's no other answer.
You can forego the +2 if you would like.
I think at some point, because she goes back into like tutorial mode, you try to play that and then you can't, and I'm just like, you don't have enough mana. You don't have enough mana. You don't
Mute. Like,
And the world goes silent.
I unmute and then
you don't have enough.
okay.
Sorry, I have to say it. It's part of my programming. I teach people how to play the game, and if you don't got it, you don't got it.
Well, how do I get more mana so I can play the star card?
So if you look over here, you've got this one right here that costs 0. That'll allow you to refresh. Okay, yep. Drag and drop. Yep, drag and drop. Okay, sweet. See how your meter just filled up.
Whoa.
Chance.
All right, you're back up to 10. Yeah. Go for it.
Star.
If you
Star.
prefer, you can just say you lose as well.
Yeah, no.
Okay, that works too.
Like, she literally just keeps playing the one
Alright.
card over and over and over again. You get the
And-
feeling Chance is like not fully awakened. Like, she's like at like a 50-50, jumps back and forth and like glitches out on things. And like the star is definitely something she's like hyper focused glitched on.
You immediately see that what little gold you have is immediately surrendered to this other man through losing this game. And he says, "Better luck next time. Would you like to play again?" And a bunch of people cheer when there's a result that happens there. And Stoobs, you kind of come in at this point to see the situation before you.
Oh no.
I
Listen, I know we're kind of indulging our vices today, but maybe gambling isn't really for you.
I'm trusting upon the stars and completing a side quest. Both are things that. Yeah, I kind of suck at this. Okay.
And it says side quest complete. You gain 10 XP and horrific slime card.
Whoa. That's terribly horrific. Okay.
Oh, that's so exciting. You know, there's a secret achievement in here that nobody has actually ever unlocked. It's if you can beat me at 100 games.
Whoa. What games do we have to play?
It's just this one. Just went all the time. I mean, I teach other games, but this is the only one that I can really play in this world.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. This is my friend Stoops.
Hello.
Do I recognize this person?
I don't think you would, no.
And she
Unless
goes
you've
into-
been on the... Well, depends which internet forums you've been in, I guess. You can roll
Yeah,
clever to see.
Yeah, let's just see if I have chanced upon anything. Let's see.
Let's see if you know Gwendolyn. No, you don't.
Are you from here?
Kind of. This is... You know what? This ear, just not meant to be. Kind of. I technically full time in another world, but this is where my source code is. This is where I come to teach people how to play the card game from this world. Which,
So you're
speaking
like-
of, welcome to the inn, traveler. Can I interest you in a game of Went?
No, I think I'm good. Thank you, though. So I'm just trying to process. So you're not like in danger or freaking out that you're here. Like you came here of your own free will. You didn't get sucked in by like a malevolent red force.
You mean like this? And then she holds up this card that's just got a giant glowing face wreathed in flame and rows of razor sharp teeth. Oh no, this thing I just carry around in my pocket. We tend to like to save these for a big combo move.
It's
If our
prismatic.
competitive scene was bigger, people would really like this card, I'm telling you. But there's just, yeah, you know, there's not much of an audience for that.
So you're like a shared asset.
Yeah, I mean, like, I came here on purpose. I come here when people need to learn how to play the game. That's all.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. This is something about this game that I didn't know, which is very surprising to me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to handle this because technically you're not from this game, but you also don't need help, so I don't know how to proceed with this interaction. I'm sorry, I'm very out of it right now.
Are you a developer? Are you in here because you're debugging?
What?
I've heard stories about this.
No,
Are you just like pretending that? Then how do you know all this stuff?
Do you know what the internet is?
Do I know what the internet is?
You do know what the internet is, yes.
Okay, I was like, I'm pretty sure I do, but
You don't have
yeah,
access
yeah.
at your fingertips like Stoops does,
Like
but
Stoops does. Okay, yeah.
in your sort of
Yeah.
communal tutorial area, you probably, there's probably a lot of tales you've heard.
Of course I know what the internet is. How else do you think I verify emails when people make their accounts?
Wow. Okay, you're only the second person that I have ever met who knows what the internet is within this game. So you have no idea what's happening here.
Somebody wanted to learn how to play my game, and so I was summoned, but that's about it. I haven't actually been hanging out here too much. The game's not that popular.
Okay, that's understandable. Have you heard of the Mire?
Have I? Overlord.
I think you've heard whispers of it, but it's never been a thing that's really concerned you, because it is something that is firmly rooted in Phantasria itself. So you've probably heard rumors of weird stuff happening, but haven't really heard a whole lot about it.
Yeah, that's your like new DLC update, right?
Oh boy. Oh boy, it's not a DLC, and I will like run her through the basics. It's kind of like a virus, like a bug. And the thing is that I don't think it can be totally eradicated, and like a lot of people don't want it to be because, you know how you think that I'm a developer and like stuff like that. It's because NPCs are starting to think for themselves and have lives outside of their programming.
And this is because of this Meyer thing you're telling me about?
Yeah. It's also kind of threatening to just eat the whole game and kind of like crossing into other games too.
As she's saying this, Gwendolyn, you notice that the sort of area of the tavern behind Stoobs seems to be cycling through textures, just as though it's a sunken kingdom one moment, and then the icy mountains the next, and then back to sort of the classic wooden sort of elven architecture. But it starts flashing, and these flashes only get faster.
Well, that's weird. Do the other it's weird to call them NPCs because we're all technically NPCs, but in the RPG, are the other NPCs like also cycling through like our Chance and Stoobs?
They don't appear to be affected.
They look regular. What about like the other people in the building?
As you look around, you do notice that some people's faces are straight up disappearing. Just. And then
that's weird.
Some of them are walking into walls and then kind of glitch and appear, a few feet to the right or left. And there's a certain electricity in the air at the moment.
This is weird. I'm a little out of my depth here, if I'm being perfectly honest, and she just sort of gestures at the, like, little window box thing that she pops up in. I'm kind of 2D. Usually I don't have these problems, but look at that guy's head. That doesn't seem right. That seems like
no.
Yeah.
No.
Spinning around and around and around.
That's
this is the mire. This is the mire.
Some people's faces disappear and it's just eyeballs and, jaws and teeth.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Ooh. Gums. Ooh.
Perhaps we should fast travel somewhere else. We could just teleport in the map.
You have an app? Oh.
Yes. Oh, that was a very Rosalind response. I'm very excited about it. Am
I on it? Is there like a
if you zoom in, there's a
teleport
GBU.
stone thing that's like you can always come back to the inn? I'm looking for that symbol that's the like logo for my game that's like you can always come back, teleport to this spot.
Yes, absolutely. It follows you everywhere.
They at least know who we are! Yay!
So what's happening behind me? Is that like, am I getting the feeling that like, oh, something bad's gonna happen here now, or
this is just terrible. This is terrible. What's happening right now?
Yeah. Okay. So
in fact,
I'll
take this moment to introduce something new to the game.
Oh no!
A new aspect that's just gonna stick around permanently. It's called Unstable World. Any of you can invoke it for free at any time.
Oh.
And it will increase the instability dramatically.
Shit.
So if you ever need a little extra boost, and I can also invoke it a few times if I want to as well. So it's there if you need it. A devil's bargain, if you will. But yes, the entire world state right now has gone from sort of glitchy but stable to, things are starting to get bad.
Okay. I will kind of grab the back of Chance's cloak and just be like, we need to go. We need to move right now. And I'm going to turn to, I don't know her name, the tutorial lady.
Oh, Gwendolyn. Yes, I'm sorry. Usually you have to finish the tutorial and then I introduce you to the card collection, but we can just skip all that. Yeah. Gwendolyn, nice to meet you.
Yeah, Gwendolyn. I mean, like, if you want to peace out or, like, you know, leave your box or something so, you know, like, you can get out of this area, that would be great because looking at this, something bad is going to happen pretty soon, and we don't want to be here when it does because we are
I gotta get home to a bunny and take care of movie night tonight. So I want out. Let's go. Let's get out of here. I don't want to disintegrate into nothingness.
All right, and I'm just gonna.
What? Oh, no, don't worry. We're on mobile now. We can play on the go.
What?
Don't worry about it. But you don't have to be in this tavern to play the game anymore.
Oh, yes. The other cards, yes. No, it's fine. I can just have 2 decks. The stars won't get mad. It's fine.
You see that some of the cards from the other gamblers in this place start floating up into the air, as do various gold pieces.
We
as
gotta
well.
go. I grab.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
Let's
maybe the
go.
stars are.
Yep. I grab the Wicked Witch. I pull her away from her beer.
Pull her away.
I'll just yell at Broomtree like, "Hey, we gotta skedaddle."
Yes, of course. Broomtree is no longer there, but you do notice that the various patrons who were sort of in the main tavern area have all kind of fled at this point. And when you run outside, you can see that the trees that make up a lot of Elfwood are rapidly changing colors, and there is a terrible storm that is forming just above Elfwood, and lightning slamming down onto the ground. And a lot of people are starting to panic a little bit. You overhear some of the elves nearby say, I told you, we should have gotten out of there and helped people instead of being isolationists. Now it's come for us and there's nobody here to help us. What do we do? And a lot of elves are kind of like scrambling around, just like, no, it's fine. Our magic will protect us. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Just have faith. Nobody is taking this well.
Okay, so looking at the sky, can I tell if there's going to be a rift bleed here? Like, can I tell if this can be stabilized without going through a rift bleed, or are we
This
just gonna
reminds
have to,
you
like...
of a very specific moment you've encountered before, which is when you were hopping, when the Maya physically targeted you. And sure enough, you notice that the storm seems to sort of rip open a little bit, but this isn't a typical rift bleed. This is a straight-up wound in Phantasria, as the entire sky is kind of irreparably torn asunder, and pouring out of it is not just a character from a game. It is a tidal wave of things from all sorts of places. A bunch of spaceships coming out, having a dogfight, a woolly mammoth just falls head over end, a massive colossus slams a giant stone foot into the ground and just flattens one of the elven houses. You see little space invader-like things dropping in and popping out, and you can see like a lot of just very regular looking dudes with guns just like just falling through as well, just immediately breaking their legs as soon as they fall to the ground. A lot of things just spewing out of this hole.
Okay, all right.
Can't just leave these people like this.
Yep, this is our job now. Okay, oh boy. Wicked Witch, any bright ideas?
Brightest idea right now is to not get killed by that thing. And she points at the Colossus, which is now sort of pulling the rest of itself out of this thing. And some very beautiful music plays, actually. Very stirring, very epic. But now's not the time, because it sort of also pulls out what is effectively a massive, ornately decorated column, and it starts wielding it like a club, and it gets these red eyes kind of circling the head-like form, and immediately it looks directly at Stoobs, and
That's new.
start stepping towards all of you. This thing is gigantic.
Okay, Stoobs would definitely know what this game is. I have personally never played it. I
Yes.
know of it.
Uh-huh.
So what mechanics would immediately spring to her mind, Thomas?
Let's roll clever and see what you happen to know before this all
I'm
happens.
trying to think of the best way to take this thing down. That's
Dang.
a 5, so that's pretty good.
You know, just in your off time, you generally kind of just go through various bits of information, and so you know a little bit about this game. This comes from the Shade of the Colossus game series, and it is a big, terrifying thing that is pretty much immune to all damage unless you find the very specific weak points. Otherwise, it will be very dangerous and destructive. The biggest challenge of this thing is usually finding the weak points and climbing on it to sort of bring it down. And as I say, bring it down, it does bring down its massive club, and the tavern explodes into splinters and bits of glitching sort of particle systems as you all desperately leap to the side and away from this. And there are a bunch of elven warriors and mages sort of flinging arrows and spells at this thing, ding, ding, bouncing right off.
Okay, I'm going to yell, we need to find its weak spot. Keep it distracted. Or something, while we figure this out.
I'm going to pull a card and see if it'll let me just, like, create comets, maybe. That'd be neat.
Okay.
Let's find out what
So
the
do you want this to be an
card
attack or an advantage you're creating?
I'm gonna try to create an advantage.
Sounds
I
great.
think.
All right, so let's pull a card and see if it's a good one or a bad one. Or somewhere in between.
Oh no.
Every time!
What was it?
Walking away, disillusionment, leaving behind.
Which
like,
card is
Six
this?
of Cups.
A Six
There's
of
a
Cups.
feeling of disappointment and loss associated with this card. One has taken a retrospective of their situation and has decided to leave it behind. Something is abandoned, and through that abandonment, one feels a loss of a part of themselves.
So you pull out this card, desperately hoping that the stars and the fates can help you out here, and immediately it flashes into light in your hand, and the light sort of shoots out in ribbons, and then forms in front of you, and actually underneath you, the physical being of a black horse that you now found yourself currently suddenly mounted on the back of, and it starts running immediately away from this situation, just and you're just like, well.
This is fine. The stars have made their choice.
So sadly, you're unable to create an advantage, but I will say that there is now a loyal horse on the board.
An RNG deck. Fancy. Nice choice. Nice choice. Okay. Okay.
Is there a way to turn off the reverse cards in this
I'm
app?
trying to work on that, because literally every card I've drawn has been like, LOL, leave. Never talk to these people again.
We might have to switch to a physical deck.
I
don't know.
disagree. This is exactly how it should be going. Yes, but in this moment, the sky, the beautiful rainbow-colored dragon, flies your way, Stoobs, trying to sort of intercept this massive colossus that is coming towards you. And Gwendolyn, you just see this massive dragon appear out of nowhere and just land down and says, "I believe we should leave."
Yep, that sounds great to me. And I will. Is this dragon like big enough that we could all get on it?
Easily, yes.
Oh,
Okay,
absolutely.
sweet.
Yeah.
I'm also going to just use my comet card to give us a speed boost so we can get out of here really, really, really fast.
Love it. Go ahead and roll careful to try and create, or clever to try and buff your friends, and we'll see how well this
Okay.
goes. Because you're creating an advantage here.
I will roll clever because I'm better at it.
Sounds good.
4.
You got a 4. That is enough to create an advantage. To succeed with style, which means not
Oh,
only
sweet.
do you create a new aspect, but you get 2 free invocations of it. So we will just
Oh.
call this Comet Buff, and we will
Okay.
put this in the free invocation column. And now anybody, whenever they roll, they can spend it for free to get some juicy bonuses. So good work there. Comet Buff is now on the board. No, it isn't. I'm on the GM layer. Let me fix that real quick. Boom. There it is. As should be loyal mount. There we go.
Okay, so at first I was like, yeah, we can take this thing down. However, it seems like everyone is just leaving. Chance is riding off into the sunset. Sky is here just like we should go. Gwent is, hopping on the dragon.
Wait,
with my experience, can I tell if we could take this thing down? Like, is this thing just gonna run amok here?
Since you rolled so high,
Or-
I will let you know that this thing can absolutely be taken down with some effort. And it definitely seems to be targeting you, so if you get it away from here, it would actually result in less life lost overall, potentially.
Okay.
Mm,
All right. I'm gonna turn to Sky and Gwen because I don't know where Chance is right now. We're just like, listen, you guys can, just leave if you want to, but it's like, this thing is gonna do a lot of damage if we don't handle it, so I'm gonna try to help. I mean, what do you guys think? What are you gonna do?
Before you can answer
Oh.
that, please tell me how both Stoobs and Gwent are defending themselves as a massive club comes down.
I am rolling out of the way.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna shrink real small back into my tutorial window to try and become tiny,
love
and
it.
then when it's not attacking me anymore, become big again.
Sounds good. Go ahead, roll careful. So it looks like Stoobs just got a
Okay.
2, and the comet buff is there if anybody needs to add to their rolls.
Okay.
Careful. Can I use a stunt? Because I
Yeah.
control the first player token, I get a +2 to acting quickly at the beginning of an encounter, and I'm trying
do.
to act quickly to dodge out of the way.
Love it. Yes, you can absolutely add an automatic +2
Alright,
to
so
this
I'm gonna
roll.
roll careful, and then in addition, it will be a +2. So it was a 2.
So 2 total. Okay, so this massive club comes down. Chance, the sight that you see before your eyes is your friends getting hit for 8 damage.
Oh boy.
Let me
No,
just.
she was smart.
So
So what do we do for damage again? I don't remember.
if you are unable to reduce that 8 damage, your characters are taken out of the scene. So you can spend 1 stress box and take 1 consequence to try and mitigate that damage. I believe that both of you will have to do a stress box and a consequence. And I think the
Yeah,
only thing available to you is to get a severe consequence and a level 2 stress box to reduce the damage by a total of 8.
So, quick
Okay.
question.
Yes.
I still have a mild consequence
Okay.
from the creepy doll things.
Yes, that would be gone by this point, so you can
That-
scrub that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
just a quick character sheet question. That means that we just tick the second stress
you take the
box,
second
right?
stress box,
Second
and then
box.
And then
under-
take the severe consequence. Okay.
yeah, under severe consequence, just write flattened.
All right, that's fine.
Okay.
As this massive club, that was a very awful thing that just happened.
Yeah.
And Chance, you saw all of it from a very safe distance, fortunately. Oh, you're
Ooh.
muted.
Blessed
rough.
be the stars for guiding me away.
It turns out when the stars yell at you to get out of there, there's a reason behind it, so that's good. Excellent. So yeah, what is everybody doing?
Stoops kind of peels herself off of the ground layer. She's like, "Nope, I feel like Chance might have been right. I get on the freaking dragon." just Star Town.
Okay, Gwentylin, do you also get on the dragon?
Yeah, she just sort of pulls herself up, and you hear the like do 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 like the intro music of like when you start a new game or whatever, and she just hops back up on the dragon and is like, "F this, I'm out."
All right. And you
I'm
take
not getting flattened again.
yeah, you take to the sky. There's still this sort of mismatch of game assets pouring out of this massive scar in the sky. Fortunately, none of them seem anything more than just extremely confused or immediately just dying on impact with the ground. The Colossus seems to be the only thing that is sort of wrapped up in this Maya energy, this red lightning, and that is still just head snapped towards Stoobs, trying to chase you as you're flying away. So yeah, Chance, you are galloping through the dense forests on this steed that the stars have conjured for you. Yeah, is there anything you're doing right now?
Okay, so I am an RNG based character, but I'm assuming I have a basic attack because
Yeah,
most
sure.
people have, and like I have a stop. So I'm just gonna take like careful pot shots at it, like just from the back of just like shooting it with some staff beams from far away while riding on my star steed horse.
Sounds good. All right, yes, you fire some beams at it. Go ahead and roll flashy, because that sounds pretty cool.
Okay.
Star beam.
Yes. Oh no, I closed that sheet back. Green.
As the game tries to process the new particle system, it hasn't loaded yet with your star beams. Yes, you shoot them out, and they fly through the air, and they impact the Colossus and just immediately bounce right off. This thing seems impervious to any attacks that are not hitting its weak point. And for game terms, what you all need to do is create an advantage until you can discover 3 weak point aspects and then overcome each of those to defeat this thing. You would intuitively know that based on what Stoobs told you. So yeah.
Right there? I think I.
You probably
was
weren't there.
This was.
I
I
don't
think
know.
this was before you
Okay.
drew the card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have
Question?
a quick question. Does this thing look like it's made out of, like, I know it's a colossus, but like, is it metal? Is it stone? Like, what is it? What does it seem like it's
this weird
constructed
sort
out
of flesh stone hybrid, and it's got a lot of sort of hairy patches on it as well. It seems like a sort of a living construct kind of thing.
A living construct, you say? All right. So I think I'd like to try and create an advantage, I
Yes.
guess, to figure out what its weaknesses are. I'm going to play my ruin card, and I'm going to make this just like unpleasant sticky rain fall down on it to see if we can see if it's like gumming up its joints or making it slip and fall down or whatever. And there's
Love
my
it.
card.
All right.
So-
So the difficulty for discovering this aspect is a 3. So go ahead and roll.
Okay.
What would this be for creating a nice rain? Either careful or clever again would apply. I'm just trying to
Clever, yeah.
spot this thing.
So I would need a 3 or better.
Yes. To be
Okay.
successful.
I think I'd like to, and I can invoke to add +2 to a roll.
Or to re-roll, yes. And you can do that after the
Or
roll
to
as well,
re-roll.
so you can go ahead and just wait and
Alright.
see.
Yeah, let's see what happens, and then because I'm all about those card combos, if I need to do a card combo later, I'll So
Sounds good.
clever.
All right.
4, didn't need
Okay.
that. Okay, cool. So
yes.
yeah.
As Sky the dragon takes to the air with you and Stoobs on the back, the Wicked Witch also following close by on her broom, you pull out one of your mystical cards and begin to sort of turn the clouds into this place into sort of a different sort of art style and aesthetic suddenly, and suddenly this sticky rain pours down, and you see that this Colossus like tries to cover itself up, and as it does so, you can see a glowing rune in its armpit. And you have
Do you see
discovered
that? Do you see that? See that right there? Look at it!
the first weak point has been discovered.
Yes.
Now, technically, what you'll be doing is like attacking and destroying the weak point, but since damage is really not important here, it'll still be an overcome to see how you basically get there and do what you need to do.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
So, Stoop, do you want to do anything?
Okay, so I would like to use target acquired. So I'm
Okay,
gonna pull
your
out the
new
gun.
stunt from your level up. You
Yes.
got your laser rifle already. It's got a new scope on it. It's very cool.
So I'm assuming that this functions as like I have to scan the target kind of a thing.
Mhm.
So I am going to try to very carefully and cleverly pilot our dragon to get like a full view of this thing to make sure that the scope is picking up on everything and see
Got
if
it.
I can identify.
Sounds good. Yeah, go ahead and
Any
roll
weak
careful for that
points.
to get a full 360 view of this thing. And we'll, again, you
man.
need a 3 to get. And remember, there's still 2 free comet buffs on the field if anybody needs those at any point. And also
Okay,
Unstable
I
World if
might-
anybody wants to get free bonuses.
I might need that because I actually just lowered my care
Oh
point.
no!
So
The irony.
Oh, never mind. This is 3.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes, you kind of like start to fly far away from Elfwood at this point, and you're high above the Phantasrian sort of tree line. Also, weirdly, the game just sort of switches into this weird parallax scrolling kind of mode that you've never seen before, but I guess given the technology, it looks pretty cool. And this thing is stomping through the forest, trying to chase you, and you're kind of staying at a safe distance, circling around this thing, looking for weak points, and you manage to identify one right on the back of the neck. You've discovered 2 of 3 weak points.
Okay.
The Colossus is now going to take a turn, and it is going to reach down and grab a truly beautiful old ancient even tree, pluck it right out of the ground, and then just lob it straight at Sky. So once again, Stoobs and Gwentolyn, tell me how you're defending yourselves from this incoming projectile.
I am going to try to shoot through it.
Okay, forceful for you. What about you, Gwentolyn?
I think I'm honestly just trying to dodge out of the way again.
All right, so a
Do
quick
the
from
same
you.
thing as before. I don't. Defense is not my strong suit necessarily. Ooh, that's a -1. I would like to invoke the comet
Excellent.
to try and re-roll that. Just maybe by like making the dragon is called Sky, right? Like making
Yes.
Sky
Mhm.
try and do like a barrel roll to get
I
out
was
of
gonna
the
say.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh no, and it was still -1. Oh, my curse is real. It's
As
coming
soon as you
back
do
to
a barrel
bite
roll,
me.
a very annoying frog just goes, "Do a barrel roll to you," and it distracts you enough
Yeah.
to actually help out.
It just like telegraphs what we're about to do.
Yeah.
So the Colossus is just like, oh, do a barrel roll, you say? Oh my God.
Exactly.
We should really turn down the game effects volume.
Oh, I can do that.
That's a question for Chance.
You hear I could do that way down in the forest below you as this truly fast horse is just galloping along, keeping pace with the rest of you. This creature,
Oh my
this Colossus
God.
gets a 3 against the 2 of you, so that means that
Oh my
Stoobs is going to
gosh.
take 2 damage, and Gwentolyn, you're going to take 4 damage.
So I would need to check which box.
I believe right now the only thing you can do is take a moderate consequence.
Oh, okay, sure.
So just to
Or
keep everybody
so
appraised.
she could check
Oh
the
yeah, you
third
could check
one,
a third.
or she could take the first one and a mild, I think.
Yes, that's correct. Because the consequences are worth 2, 4, 6.
Let's take, and I took 4 damage, you said?
Total, yes.
So yeah, let's just have me do a moderate consequence.
Okay,
That's fine.
blam. Let's see what
Okay,
happens to you. What kind of detrimental thing happens here? I think. First of all, I think you're broken out of your tutorial window. I think it just snaps in half and you just kind of
Oh,
slump
no!
onto the ground. So we'll just say call it exposed or something like that.
Exposed,
Yeah.
okay.
You are both flattened and exposed.
Flattened and exposed.
Okay, so that was the Colossus' turn. Who wants to do something? Bear in mind, there are some very wounded people on the field right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I try to make a defense aspect?
Yes, absolutely. The more aspects you create, the easier your allies can defend themselves should terrible things
Great,
start happening.
Great. I'm gonna pray to the sky and hopefully it gives me a boon that's helpful in defense.
Let's see.
Let's see.
Please, RNG, be merciful
Come on,
today.
RNG. Knight of Cups.
That sounds good.
Okay.
That's real good.
Reversed.
Oh!
Maybe it's a good reverse card.
Okay, let's see. Being
Such thing as a good reverse card.
by the heart and not the head, the Knights of Clubs can sometimes be prone to quickly evolving and heated emotions. His invitation, though charming at first, can become problematic because of his inability to control his feelings.
Interesting. What are the like the keywords?
You're just
moodiness
too
and
emotional.
disappointment.
Wow.
We really have nothing to go on.
I
there.
will. I will say this. This card doesn't necessarily affect you, Chance. It could potentially be something you inflict upon the Colossus. So go ahead and roll careful to set this up. And if you roll well, it'll affect the Colossus. If you roll poorly, it will not.
Alright, well, maybe I can make the Colossus depressed.
Would you like to alter that roll at all, or are you happy
that's
with it?
a good roll.
I will use I can help, since everyone needs desperate help here, to
Okay.
give a +2, making it a 5.
So using one of your own aspects, so go ahead and spend a fate
Yes.
point, and I will gain one. Thank you. All right. So that was a +2 for a 5 total. That's absolutely going to create moodiness, I guess. We'll just write moodiness for the Colossus there. Just
Like, manifest in the Colossus. Is it just, like, sitting there going, like, like...
I think so. I think a little storm cloud appears above it, and like a little smoke like comes out of its ears. It's just like it just seems really upset. Incredible, great work there, Chance. Anybody else doing anything?
I am going to. So we have to find all of the weak points before we can do anything about it, right?
Nope, you can destroy them. But this thing is not going to stop until
Yeah.
every weak point is destroyed.
We've got an armpit and a back of
Okay.
the neck weak point, and we have one more to find.
Okay.
And you've got a lot of buffs on
So
the field
once
as well.
again. Yes.
And a frog that yelled barrel roll.
Yes.
Get out of here, frog.
I would like to try to figure out another weakness kind of by watching like how is all this affecting it, like is its movement different, you know, kind of like we've introduced the rain cloud and that kind of did something, and now it's suffering from depression, which might do something, you know. So just kind of I want to see if there's anything that's sticking out in its semi-weakened state.
Sounds good. Yeah,
So-
go ahead and roll careful to see if you can find anything that pops out to you.
It's not clever.
I can see an argument for clever. You can roll clever if you would like.
Okay. 4.
4, excellent. Yes, you notice that with its new moodiness, the Colossus is really sort of dragging its feet quite a bit, just destroying swaths of land as it does so. But as you're circling around it, trying to find these weak points, you notice that one of the weak points is on the sole of its left foot.
How are we gonna get to that?
Gwendolyn, anything you are wanting to do?
Yeah, I see the I'm guessing like Stoobs mentions the thing on the sole of its weak foot, and
Yeah,
would
I
like
just
to-
immediately pointed out.
As soon as you point them out, like they start glowing so brightly, just like, oh, how did we not see these?
Yeah, like some you know, if she were from a different game, the auto lock on target thing would just show up. So I'd like to use the rogue card to basically make some like caltrops and traps and stuff appear that will it will hopefully step on them and then be like, ah, my foot, and we can destroy one of the runes.
I love that. Absolutely, yes. Go ahead and roll clever to set up this little trap of yours, and we'll see how well it does.
Yay. That was a 3.
Okay. Were you doing this specifically to try and get that weak point, you know, dealt with, or were you trying to set something up for somebody else?
I was specifically trying to damage the weak point
Got
on
it.
its sole of its foot because it will step on something hard.
So
and
to
sharp.
destroy a weak point, you need at least a 4. So if you would like, you can spend the comet buff or the moodiness to just get the boost you need for that.
Can we let's spend the moodiness buff, because I
Okay.
think that like in the midst of this is gonna be so mean, but in the midst of like dragging its feet and being like, oh man, I want to make it be like you're crying so you can't see where you're stepping, so you step on something sharp.
It's like rage tears, though. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah, just like I'm so upset, and then I'm even more upset.
Love it. Yes, so with that, you hear the sound of a window shattering and this thing goes as its weak point on its foot is utterly destroyed, and it goes down on one knee for a second before pulling itself up by slamming its club into the landscape, just destroying a lovely field and exploding it into pixels. And then you see just a massive health bar on the screen just go about a third of the way down. Good job
Ooh, okay,
there.
okay,
It is
okay.
now the Colossus's turn. And at this point, are you still trying to fly sort of towards Startown, or are you kind of just like doing evasive maneuvers at this point? Is there a destination?
I feel like we're just doing evasive maneuvers
Sure.
and trying to lead him away from
Yeah.
the
So I think
populace
you
kind
sort of
thing.
crossed into the border between the elf lands and the dwarf lands a little bit, so it's transitioning from lovely lush forests to sort of plains to mountains to sort of a bit of coastline as well. And as it kind of like pulls, it kind of like trips and falls on one of these mountains as you take out one of its weak points, and you kind of like soar through the air, sending snow flying off the peaks as sky barely scrapes past them. This thing is gonna pick up just a nearby piece of rock and just throw it at the dragon once again. So Stoobs and Gwentolyn, please tell me what you're doing to defend yourselves
I'm
from
gonna
this.
use my ult to intercept that.
Oh, okay. Remind us what that means exactly.
Let me go back and read it out loud using my ability to read. Stars in your eyes. If something happens on a player's turn, I foresaw it and can make a move first. So right before they are gonna do their turn to
Yes.
block, I'm like, yes, you're going to hit again, scary monster man. And I'm gonna attempt to intercept it and take that hit.
In what way?
I am going to.
Is your horse like
have-
climbing up a mountain and like leaping in front
Yeah,
of this
I'm gonna
thing?
just like leap over and try to jump it, like carefully
Oh,
find
no.
the
I
right
love it because your horse is just
trajectory.
scaraming up the side of a cliff and it's just gonna
Yes.
leap into this boulder. Great. So go ahead and roll defense. Forceful. Roll a forceful defense as you're just blocking this thing with your body.
Okay, that's not
I
gonna go
feel like that horse
no.
with the potential Skyrim parody we were talking about, like a horse doing things beyond the physical limits of horses.
If
Yep,
you'd like,
I'm gonna.
sorry,
yeah,
yes.
I'm gonna use the invocation that's left. That's not unstable world.
The comet buff.
The comet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as the horse starts climbing the mountain, you see it's nowhere fast enough, and then suddenly it just gets a burst of speed from the power of the comets that Gwentolyn gave it, and leaps in front. Would you like a reroll or a +2?
+2.
Okay, so that's going to be a 2 total, which means that this thing is going to chuck the boulder for a 3. So you're going to take 1 point of damage, miraculously,
Holy
Chance.
cow.
As the boulder intercepts, probably some last-minute star magic to sort of absorb the blow a little bit, but for the most part, you are not too badly wounded compared to what could have just happened to your friends. And your horse flies through the air, lands on another mountain, and just keeps trotting along. Excellent. So yeah, that was you just intercepted the Colossus' move there, so it's got nothing else it can really do. So back to everybody else. What would you all like to do?
Lock and load. Bang, bang. Here
Alright,
we go. I
go
want
ahead.
to hit. Should I go for the back of the neck or the armpit, guys?
Up to you. I'll take
No.
whichever one you don't.
I will aim for the armpit.
Sounds good. So it's kind of like swinging its club up and around. You aim for the armpit. For 1.
And I'm going to invoke Bang Bang as well.
So that's
So that
your
gives me a
stunt.
3. Yes.
Okay.
3 total.
3 total is not going to be enough. But you've only done a stunt so far, so you can still invoke something if you need.
Okay.
Unstable World is right there
Uh-huh.
if you'd like to invoke it. It's for free.
Oh, why you gotta
free.
say
No.
that?
No,
Completely
Uh-huh.
free. No cost.
we don't want it. Go away, Thomas.
It's 1 fate point. Okay, so we don't have the comet blessing.
That is gone. That's all
anymore.
been used up.
Okay.
Is there anything you can really do to alter this?
Oh boy, I'm thinking.
Now,
So that's a stunt. Can I invoke an aspect?
yes, you can invoke an aspect in addition to what you're doing here.
Okay.
I will say, You do have Rosalind's fairy wings in your pockets. Now, I'm not saying that you should use them, but if you wanted to potentially use them for a little boost, that is something they could potentially do.
No.
Okay,
Not happening.
Just let you know
Not
what's possible. Just
happening.
let you know what is available to you.
I would like to use my Wi-Fi connection to connect with my gun, the interface a little more. So
Okay. We're
just
really
hear me
stretching
out.
it here, but
Well, I mean, short of me just going full werewolf and like just chucking the gun.
that sounds amazing.
Okay, then that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add another +2, and I'm just gonna fucking it
Okay.
jams, and I just throw it like
Yeah.
a javelin.
It like immediately overheats, and you just lob this laser rifle at this thing's weak point. So go ahead and spend a fate point for that. Yeah, and that
Yep.
brings it to just enough to you just lob this.
Thank you, God.
There's like a miniature sort of fusion reactor explosion just on this thing's armpit, and it kind of stumbles and falls to the ground. And it leaves a massive, colossus body-sized crater in the dwarf lands. And it kind of like splashes into the ocean a little bit, sending up this massive tidal wave that covers a bit of the coastline as well. And this thing like scrambles to its feet. Its health bar now only at a third of its full size. Nice work there, Stoobs.
So did I just lose my gun? Do I need to rework all of my stunts now?
No. It's
No?
I mean, it did just literally explode, but
Yeah. So maybe on break. Oh.
we'll figure out what that means.
Yeah.
Maybe this Colossus will drop a laser rifle that you can slot
Yeah,
into the new slot.
You know?
Anybody else have a thing to do before this thing rises and strikes again?
Yes, I'm going to try and do the finisher for the thing on the back of its neck with a petrification card.
Ooh.
You just be like kaboom, and then just boop on the back of the neck, and it'll be down. There we go. And I can what? Let's see. Probably that's.
Sounds pretty forceful. You're straight up trying to just make this thing stop.
Can it be flashy instead?
Can you explain to me why it's flashy?
Because this is the since it takes like 3 steps, basically like the combo cards have been building up to this point, so that the finisher is just something that's like wah, spectacular.
The elusive comet thief petrification combo.
Yes, yes.
All right, I'll buy it. Let's do this. Let's
Okay,
do a
cool.
flashy roll.
It's a 3.
That
Does
is-
it need to be?
It needs to be a 4 to hit a weak point.
Okay, I will spend a fate point to invoke one of my aspects, which is a binder that's filled with every card within the game.
Yes.
So in order to make it extra flashy, it's going to be like the gold lenticular hologram
Yeah.
version of the card. Which doesn't actually mean anything. It just looks so cool that this thing in whatever heart beats within its chest is like, oh no, I see the end of my life. It's a golden card!
Man.
And then it's just like, ah!
It's like, I never get prismatic cards. That's not fair.
Exactly. Through its tears.
Love it. Okay, so go ahead and
Oh
spend that
my
fate point.
gosh.
Are you adding 2 or are you re-rolling?
I'm just gonna add 2 because I
Okay.
think with a 3, it's best to just bump that to a 5 rather than chance a reroll.
Sounds good.
Chance. I didn't even think about
I feel like my name has been said.
that.
I'm going to invoke with my just piles of fate points that I've been gathering. Thank you very much,
No!
everybody.
Oh.
I'm going to invoke one of these Colossus's aspects, which is called Nigh Invincible, to get a +2 to its threshold, which
No.
means that you unfortunately, at the last second, are unable to penetrate through the mighty stone of this creature, even with your
Aw.
wicked awesome combo and with it demoralized by your shiny card. And it's going to take that moment to see what you're doing, and it is going to try and pick up Chance and throw her at the two of you. So Chance, let's start with you. Please roll a defense roll to tell me how you're going to avoid being picked up.
Why
Can I
did we
roll a
decide to fight it? Why?
Can I draw a card to see what the card.
If you would like to leave it to fate, which, you know, if you roll tails 70 times, you must roll heads next, right?
I feel like it has to happen, right?
That's how
Like,
probability
Oh my
works.
God.
It's just gonna happen. Hold on.
Oh, I love it. I love that this is going down to fate.
You know, at this point, I might get my deck and just draw for you.
I don't know what it means. Like, I literally could pull one, but then it's not gonna help if we don't know what it is.
No, let's
Like,
see.
what does
Let's
the Empress mean? I don't know.
doesn't count.
That's
It's void. It's void.
actually
Doesn't count.
pretty good.
Oh well. Oh well.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we're not using the physical one then.
Oh, so funny.
I'm actually curious now. 1 second. Keep
A
going.
massive, yes, a massive stony hand comes down, starts enveloping you and your horse.
Okay,
Chance.
okay.
Okay.
Cups. Like 5, 7. I don't know. It's a lot of cups.
A lot
A
of
range
cups.
of choices presents themselves to you, some of which promise power, riches, victory, and love, others that present you with disaster. Danger lurks within the choices, and wishful thinking and fantasy can lead into trouble? Choices, fantasy, illusion. So maybe it attacks an illusionary version?
Yes, let's go with that. So you're basically throwing up an illusion. So go ahead and roll either careful or clever. Go roll clever to see if you can trick this thing to grab the illusion instead of you. And it will roll to see if it can grab you.
That was not horrible this time, though. Thank you, Fate.
Yes.
What was the card that
It was
you
like
drew?
the 7 of Cups or something.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
7 of Cups.
yeah.
It was like an in-between one. It was like, maybe things
Yeah.
can be good. I'm like, I'll take
It was like,
It's
make a
better than-
good choice. And it's like, well, thanks.
Okay, I got a 3.
Nice work. This creature gets a 4!
Cool. Can I, hold on.
Unstable world. Unstable world.
Oh God!
It's right there. It's free. Go for it.
No!
It is free, but I feel like there's all these other ones, right, that just cost a point.
Yes,
like,
that's right. As
Yeah,
well as your
that's
character
true,
aspects
too.
that you can invoke
That's
as well.
true too.
Exactly.
You
like
could
loyal
combine
mount.
it.
I
Combine it with your starter deck or something.
Yeah, like Anna the player is literally just living for how chaotic Chance is. So I'm like, add the instability to the world. Do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna use loyal mount because I feel like that's gonna leave
Yeah,
out this fight anyway.
That makes a lot of sense. So go ahead and spend a fate point for that.
And we'll just take it down by 2.
Sounds good. Yeah, this creature's rolls reduced by 2 thanks to what you did. Your loyal steed just kicking into action. The Colossus grabs out, reaches towards you both, only grabs just a pile of rocks as it scrapes across the mountainside. So, Chance, you are safe. Unfortunately, it is about to fling just basically a shotgun blast of these pebbles towards Sky the Dragon. So, Stoobs and Gwentolyn, how are you defending yourselves?
Barrel roll.
Okay.
Barrel roll.
So that's a
Um,
quick from you, Stoobs.
Yeah.
I will use my knight card to give myself some armor.
Love
to
it.
hopefully absorb some of this hit because dodging out of the way is not cutting it.
Sounds good. Go ahead and roll forceful then.
Forceful.
I feel like we should be doing like a joint defense roll because we're on the back of Sky.
Kind of, but this is just easier.
I am not forceful at all. That's no good.
And also, Sky is a vehicle, so he can't really have much bad stuff happen to him.
Okay, all right. Let's just let it happen.
Or could I kill Sky? That could work.
I mean, does he have no?
A 1.
Oh,
He
well.
is 3 days old. You can't kill a baby.
All right.
Yeah.
As this blast of pebbles and rocks comes your way, Stoobs, you manage to sort of barrel roll just enough to avoid the worst of it. Fortunately, Gwentolyn, as you kind of like prepare this armor in front of you, just the volume of these stones, ting ting ting, breaks through it and starts to batter you, and you take 3 damage.
Oh, geez. All right. I'm going to use my number 3 box
Sounds
to
good.
absorb that.
All right. I am invoking exposed on you though, which I get a free
Okay.
invocation on every consequence that's made once. So I'm gonna reduce that by 2 so that you take 5 damage.
Okay, so I could still mark that box and then take a mild
Correct.
consequence. Okay.
Yes.
Lay it on me.
Let's call this mild consequence on the brink because
Oh,
that seems
yeah,
appropriate.
yeah.
Oh man.
Never has a guest character had so many bad things happen so quickly, so I apologize.
Hey, this is just how I roll in everything. Roll 20, physical dice. Yeah, it's just life
Sounds good.
happens.
You all see an opportunity as this thing is sort of like lifting up its massive club, ready for a massive swing to take out everybody in one fell swoop. What is everybody doing?
I feel like we should definitely let the person who's been like clobbered over and over again get the finishing move.
Yeah.
Or she could get off the dragon. That could also save her life.
That's
potentially.
true. That's
Yeah.
true. But either way, Gwendolyn, do you want to go first? I feel like you're owed that at least.
Yes. I was gonna save this for a much more dramatic moment, but I don't think it gets any better than this because I have a card. I have a card that is called the Fates. That I would like to use my ult to produce exactly the right legendary card as my ultimate move. So Beyond Hope will be able to get out of here. Somehow. Like, open up a rift in the pixel world. I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm really just leaning into the chaos energy of the world being unstable right now and being like, I don't care what happens as long as we can just get away from that thing. So
Would you like it to bring you all to safety guaranteed, or would you like it to finish off this thing?
she'd want to bring them to safety.
Okay, sounds good. All right. So yes, you pull out the Fates card, and I think 3 stars from the Phantasrian sky just slam down in front of you, and Chance, you get a little, pardon the pun, but starstruck because it is a literal embodiment of the Fates standing before you, and they start swirling around Sky the Dragon, and one of them even extends a hand towards you, Chance, as if to say, "Come with us."
Of course.
And the second you touch the hand, you, all 3 of you, feel a intense sort of like warp speed sort of effect happen as you just are launched into the sky, far, far, far away from this place, and you find yourself in Phantasrian airspace, or rather space, just looking down at sort of the continent below you that sort of disappears as the level of detail is unable to be processed much longer. So you're just in this beautiful, incredible cosmos around you, saved by these fates. And I think they're even going to take this opportunity to help you all out a little bit, so everybody can clear all their stress boxes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And although they don't say anything, there is something to sort of just the aura of these creatures as they look towards you, Chance, that gives you the sense of, oh, things will be alright. And shortly after that, you feel sort of this shimmering, very pleasant warmth around all of you, and moments later you find yourselves on very soft grass, lying down, looking up at the sky that you just found yourselves in, and you are in a beautiful, lush, open field very close to Star Town, the starting town of Phantasia, and there is no Colossus in sight.
And out of just where Gwendolyn is the hooray, like victory noise that comes at the end of the card game.
You play your special taunt as well, just like, had it,
Yeah.
you know, like, easily done, or whatever.
Exactly. Well, this is new. And she just kind of looks down and around at, like, having, you know, a lower half of a body now.
Yeah, I imagine you still have your frame with you, but it's just broken in pieces.
It's yeah, like it's just splinters of wood or whatever. She's just like, oh, that's super cool. I guess there was some concept art that I didn't know about.
Oh my god.
The Wicked Witch, sadly, did not make it this far. She was beamed by a backswing, and, you know, she has an ability where if she gets reduced to 0 health, she teleports away.
Yeah, she's
probably okay. She's probably really wounded somewhere, but alive.
Is everybody okay? Everybody doing all right?
I've been
need
better.
patching up. Okay, yeah.
Truly blessed by the stars. That was incredible, Gwendolyn.
So the thing is that I'm not really supposed to teach you how to do this. I just teach you how to play the game, but there's such a thing as like deck building. So we were kind of blessed by the stars, but we were also kind of blessed by the fact that I have all of these cards. And she just, it looks like a small pack of cards, but she'll do the like flip through a thing, and it's just like
Thousands.
a flapping, like much heavier sound, like more like those plastic sheet protectors of cards, just flapping and flapping, and it just keeps going. And it's like, the thing is, once I use them, I need to wait to like reshuffle my graveyard back into the deck. So we can't use any of the stuff that I just used in the last, but it's, you know, deck building. It's very important. It's all part of the meta game. But you just lean into that RNG and you go with it. I love that. I love that for you. That's so cool.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
It works out a percentage of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
A random percentage, but yes.
Yes. But the stars work in mysterious ways, and it's not up to me to question, just to interpret it how it falls. And in this case, I feel as if the stars have looked favorably upon what we've done today. So good work to everyone here.
You know, it's still out there. Someone's gonna have to deal with it. And eventually.
I feel compelled to help people. Why would you bring that up?
Well, I was also going to bring up the fact that it seems to be honing in on me.
So perhaps we can just lay a trap and wait for it to come here, if we want to finish it off.
That is a plan.
We do have the upper ground now.
I mean, we do know the last weak point to bring it down.
It's the neck, right? We could just... If we're luring it somewhere, we can find the place where we have the best advantage, and...
Well, I mean, okay, so... Don't take this the wrong way, but if it's following you, Stu... It wouldn't be very difficult to lure it to wherever you were. So I'm not saying we should use you as bait. We should make sure you're protected, of course. But if it's going to hone in on you, that means we probably also don't have that much time. I mean, that thing is huge, and if you know, space marines are just falling out of the sky, like, I don't even really know what space marines are, but whatever, space marines falling out of the sky, it could just drop out of the void at any minute on top of us, on top of you.
Hear me out.
Yes.
But can it swim? What if we just went to the ocean and hoped it followed you into the water and drowned?
It's an unliving construct. I don't think it needs to breathe.
Plus, then we're in the ocean. And...
You know it's living, Gwyn. Not Gwyn. Stoops.
Oh, Stoop. It's like, I don't know.
So, I think perhaps we should just drown it. Let's just go into the middle of the ocean and wait for it to come and sink down and die.
I mean, considering that I don't have a weapon anymore, that might be a valid choice, you know?
Or just find some way to power it down. Do you know, Stu, do you know why it's following you? Like, what does it want from you? Maybe we can just...
is semi-sentient, I think. So it's been targeting the people who have done the most damage to it.
Oh.
And other than Rosalind, that's me.
Do you still look like... I'm sorry, this is a player question. Do you still look like a corgi at this point, or are you in a human
No,
form?
she looks like a human.
Because I would have loved if, like, a talking corgi was like, I have done the most damage to this world. Fear me, the destroyer.
Honestly, they were a very adorable party when you had like a very small fairy riding on a corgi into battle.
Aww.
That was early game Awakened Pixels. Very cute.
And
Times
then
have
things
changed.
happened.
Now everything's changed.
And she used to travel with you, but she did a lot of damage to the worlds.
Yes. Our whole mission has been to sort of bring it's been to bring the mire under control, but to do that a lot of times we have to go in and destroy rift bleeds, which angers the mire. So occasionally, when it gets enough energy, I think it targets specific people.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
But there may be someone here who can help. So give me just 1 second and I will text Duncan and just say, followed by evil entity.
You see, Duncan is typing.
Presently in Startown Field. Accidentally teleported here.
Yeah, he kind of like sends back just a scramble of misspellings and emojis along the lines of, no, eyes and ears everywhere, must regroup, need safe space to go, where can we go? Be discreet, in all caps.
Oh my god. Can you travel? Question mark.
Yeah, he says, if you're here already, you can pick me up, because not well.
Okay, be there soon. Dealing with Colossus.
He doesn't know how to respond to that.
Okay, and I snap back to the present conversation. Never mind, he can't help us. So we're on our own in this. Would I know of any weapon in Startown that just like really would pack a punch?
In the starting level 1 village of Phantasria?
I don't know. Maybe it was part of some quest line where they had to go back to the village and
yes, I
search
like this.
the ruins
I like this.
or something.
I believe you know that
It's-
the meteor blade, which is capable of firing meteors out of it, can be found in the basement of the Lightsworn Heroes temple's place.
And just to be clear, like, Startown was straight up razed to the ground by...
Yes, it was
forces of
the
chaos,
catalyst
correct?
that sort of began the events of the game after the Lightsworn Heroes sort of were created and did some basic tutorials. Then the forces of chaos came to destroy Startown and push them to go on their adventure.
So that's... I think I see where you're going with this, so you could stop me if this is not helpful, but...
Okay.
Does Gwendolyn... Is she maybe familiar with somebody who was another tutorial AI for that area, or from the game that the Colossus is from, that could help us? Because we kind of have to know how the game works to an extent in order to be able to teach it. So maybe we could get some help from the other tutorial folks.
Unfortunately, in Shadow of the Colossus, there is no tutorial being of any
You just
kind.
go.
It's very much you're
It was
thrown into
worth
something.
a shot.
As for other potential like tutorial peoples in Phantasria, there's no one specific person, but a lot of tutorials sort of spread out amongst just the general population of just like, oh, wish, old man did us a good day, and he's like, did you know that if you open up your quest menu, you can select different quests to be active at once? It's like, why are you telling me this, old man?
Yes.
So there is potentially
Remember
one
to
of those.
save early and often.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you would like to...
Is there like a save point anywhere nearby?
Yeah, Startown has one.
Oh, okay. I feel like it's since I deleted all the old save files, I feel like we should probably log in our current progress.
Yeah, 'cause right now you're on the outskirts of sort of this burnt town, so it's up to you what you would like to pursue.
So if we go into Startown, we could possibly find this blade, which would help us defeat this Colossus, and also save, which might just in general be a good idea.
Having a respawn point isn't a bad idea. Also, it sounds like that's a side quest. I have all the side quests that I can look up in my menu.
Oh yeah, it's like the meteor blade.
Yeah, do you want to look
Your
at
log will update at a save point. Yeah, exactly.
you
Yeah.
look at your quest log, Chance, and you
Yes,
see that it's not an active quest, which is why you sort of didn't really see it for a long time. But there is a little sort of note somewhere that says check back in at the temple when we're back in Startown. Effectively to say, you know, once they overcame so many other trials, they could find an extra secret thing. But there's no like quest marker for it, so it's just not active to you right now.
I see. I think you're on the right path, Stoops.
Okay, so before we go in, I would just like to say that, you know, this was a much nicer place before the Forces of Chaos. So just bear that in mind. And I'll start walking.
Okay, the three of you enter sort of the town of Startown. Yeah, it is a lot of what was very nice, idyllic sort of farm buildings. And
Oh, what just happened?
oh, everything okay?
Uh-oh.
We good? Oh no, I think we lost. I think Stoobs just blue screened at the memory of
Uh-oh.
returning back home again, which is very upsetting.
Oh no.
Perfect.
So yes, as Stoobs goes through this, we'll take a very quick break and just make sure that Stoobs isn't irretrievably lost, and we'll be back very soon. So hold on for just 1 second. We'll be back. And we're back, everybody. Stoobs has recovered from her, I
Sorry
assume,
about that.
sort of homecoming-induced trauma of some kind.
Yeah, I mean, was she ever actually in Startown, or
Yeah.
was she only was this just a memory from her backstory, kind of like Rosalind's parents?
This is the point where we get into that weird territory of what is real and what isn't real.
Yeah.
You definitely have a fondness for Startown, whether it's from an actual memory that you can properly think about, or whether it's because of just those experiences washing over into you once you became awakened is unclear.
Maybe it's more like Startown exists, but it's before like the introduction cutscene.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's a whole montage of it like being destroyed, and that sets off the hero's journey.
Yeah, like
or
a lot of
something.
times in the they'll have like an establishing easy quest where you just like kind of go and
Yeah.
clear.
It was probably a carnival or something. You had to get
Yeah.
a bunch of
Yeah.
tokens.
And you just kind of like hang out in town, and everyone's like, "Oh boy, we love you so much."
Pet
Your
Stoops.
name. And then you like.
Pet Stoops.
Yeah.
Hey, who wants to test out the local scientist's time machine at the carnival?
Sounds like a good idea for me, a precocious and very adventurous young boy.
With spiky hair.
And
I
a
hope my
sword.
mother called Mom doesn't stop me. Anyway.
Somebody please clip that. That was amazing.
Anyway, yes, we are back in the burnt husk of Startown, the starting town where the Lightsworn heroes first set out on their journey. Whatever pleasant, wonderful, rustic memories were here have now since been charred away and burned to ash, and this is where you're all standing right now. It's just a lot of burnt down buildings, long since abandoned. There is nobody here, as far as you can tell.
So, if I remember correctly, the temple is this way. And I'll just kind of try to navigate my general feel here, because I've never been back.
Yeah, it's not a big town, so it
Yeah.
doesn't take you too long before you find one of the larger buildings, which is the temples where the Lightsworn heroes were initially anointed. Chance, you probably feel some kind of kinship there because it is, at least in the lore of the game, it is very much to do with sort of the rising to the status of the hero, which is something that you technically are. So it's even though it's burnt down, there's some sort of nice sort of sense of belonging here.
I think Gwendolyn's enjoying seeing the like emblems of the various, clerics and deities and stuff like that she's only really experienced as card artwork.
Yeah.
And she's just like, oh my gosh, it looks so much better in 3D. Look at the shading. And even though it's like a burned out building, she's like, I know what this card looks like. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I think that Stoobs is just she's having a lot of emotions that she doesn't know what to do with. So I think that she's just kind of like looking for stuff, anything that's going to be useful. Also for Duncan.
Yep. Duncan said he was around here somewhere, and that you two should both leave very soon because eyes and ears are both watching and listening to your communiques. Yeah, so you quickly go to scavenge in the temple. There is basically nothing here except for what lays in the basement, which is effectively a large sort of locking mechanism that, if you look at it, you think, I could just reach my arm through, these big bars if I wanted to and grab this thing easily, but some sort of arcane collider force simply stops you from doing such things. It is locked with something called a masterclass lock, however, which means that somebody with good lockpicking skills is going to need to crack into this thing.
Maybe we
Neither
should
of you
ask
pick
the
locks.
stars. Maybe the stars will have a solution
Oh,
for
Maybe
us.
the stars will have a
no.
solution.
I think we should trust in the stars. They have been.
Honestly, they've kind of been right
they've been
about
right.
everything.
They've been right about everything, and I should stop doubting them because the stars know all. Let's see.
Yeah, I was
You
gonna
look
say
at your very
we can.
flattened companions, just like good stars, very good stars.
Yes, I
Yeah.
flattened and exposed.
Yes.
and
Like,
if the stars not fail us, but if we need a backup, I have a plan.
Okay.
Guys,
Is
the
it,
stars told
unstable
me not
world?
to.
Oh no!
They said
Oh
no.
god.
Here's what it said. Though you may have found yourself in a position where you have needed to lie, betray, and steal to survive, there is a spark within you that is showing desire to leave that life behind. It has left you feeling smothered and unable to be free. No, this is not for us.
This
and
is
we
a
should
holy
not take it.
artifact.
Obviously, this is something that we should be protecting and keeping here so that way the gods themselves know that it's safe.
Now,
We cannot take it
Stoobs,
from this place.
you know specifically, like, this sword only exists to be used as a weapon by the Light Sword heroes, so although what Chance is saying is very sweet and, you know, true in some respects, in terms of cold, hard pragmatism, it's just, there's nothing holy about this thing.
Just put my hand on her shoulder and just like, listen, I know you have a lot to learn and you're still on your awakening journey and realizing that, you know, some things are kind of just bullshit. But not to be too harsh about this, but this is literally a weapon.
Stars would look down upon us if we took it. We should not anger the stars, Stoops.
I think Gwendolyn just goes, "Oh, for heaven's sake!" And I'm going to play my key card.
Oh, the key card. Excellent.
Which I love that this was our plan to get rid of the Colossus, but we'll worry about that later because I want to use the key card to open the chest and be like, "Okay, Chance, so we're not technically stealing this because, well, you're one of the heroes from this game, right?"
I am an optional hero. That
Go ahead.
I'm one of the main four, right? Like, I'm an extra hero that you can choose to take and you can choose not to. Obviously, this was meant for the main four.
Can I? Okay, I've got to sort of like intrude a truth into the world that I know because I'm the card game AI.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna be like, Chance, you're one of the optional heroes in this game, but you're not an optional hero in my game. You're one of the hero portraits that you can start the game with. And that means that in my game, when this legendary weapon comes out of the deck, you can wield it. I know it's not exactly the same because it's 2D and you have to have mana and all of that stuff, but you can wield it in my game. And because my game comes from your game, that means you can definitely wield it in your game.
You're right. I didn't know that I mattered so much in the card game. That feels nice. Thank you for telling me.
Of course.
I'm sorry for
And-
skipping through your tutorial so much when you were giving me all those rules.
You do not have enough mana.
And with the power of your key card, you managed to completely bypass this masterwork lock, and the gate that was blocking this holy weapon is now parted, leaving it free for the taking.
Okay, so the question now is, can any of us use this?
I believe that Chance absolutely has a weapon slot. Gwendolyn absolutely does not have a weapon slot unless it is literally a card. And Stoobs, I don't know if you actually have a weapon slot yet. I think you've been using laser rifles, so I imagine there's something that slots into there. So I think you can.
Yeah, to establish my masterclass as a quote-unquote space ranger, a generic term. Presently, my slot is filled by a new laser rifle, correct?
Yes, that could work absolutely. If you would like that to
Yes.
have basically be a default weapon of your build from your prestige class that you got from Broomtree.
Yes. So yeah. Yes. Chance is the only one who can wield this weapon.
I will take the sword then.
Okay. It shines and shimmers at the touch of your hands, chance, and it gleams with a beautiful cosmic light that seems to attune itself with your power and energy. And yes, it is a beautiful blade. Weirdly, it's listed as a ranged weapon. You don't have to actually stab or hit anything with this. You just kind of swing it, and it shoots little meteors.
That's so cool.
really cute.
And you like test it, and just a little meteor kind of splashes against the wall. You learn that you can only ever have 3 meteors on screen at the same time, so you can be like.
Cool. That's really cool.
So now you have a meteor sword, I guess. That's pretty cool.
Woo!
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So,
So at least you have a ranged weapon now.
yes. That's great.
All right.
And we know its weak spot. We know what it wants. Whatever it is that you have, Stoobs. And we know where we could get it to go. To be in position.
Sounds like we have a plan. Didn't you want to pick someone up here?
I feel like maybe we should pick him up after we deal with this. Unless, I guess we could just put him on Sky and like have them.
Sky's not with you.
Can you not call Sky?
Wait, did he not come through with the?
Oh!
Oh no! I try to contact. I call Sky.
Okay, you pull up the codec and you reach out to your dragon friend. Ba-deep, 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 ba-deep.
Thomas, no, he's a baby. He is 3 days old, Thomas.
Ba-deep, ba-deep. Creator, is that you? Sorry, I don't know how to turn this thing on. Nobody taught me how to press buttons, but I figured it out. It was intuitive in the end.
Oh my god, I thought you were dead. Okay.
No, Creator. I would never die while you still draw breath.
Okay, where are you?
I am extremely far up in the sky. That thing really wanted to kill me.
Okay, we're in Startown. How long would it take for you to get here?
I'm so fast. I'll be there momentarily.
Okay. We will see you in a little bit. And I am going to, I guess, text,
Duncan?
Duncan. I almost said Broomtree.
Yeah, you text, what do you say to Duncan?
In temple basement.
He sends back, stop telling me exactly where you are.
Sorry, still have to deal with Colossus.
And now
Would
much
you-
more, potentially, you get back. And he sends back eyes and ears emojis.
Shit. Okay. Ooh. Meet up where?
He just sends back, I'll find you.
Okay. Oh boy. Okay. So it's only after me. So as long as I can keep its attention, you guys can get the killing blow on it.
I was thinking about that. I see absolutely no reason why we shouldn't float up on Sky and then just shoot him from up high and hit his neck while you stay on the ground.
Well,
Yes.
the reason would be is that this thing is very big and very fast, and even Sky is the name of the dragon, correct?
Yes.
Just making
Yes.
okay. I was like just making sure I'm on the right page. Sky was very valiant in the fight, but we both still almost just didn't make it out of that. So
Right. So I think that Stoobs is extraordinarily fast from what I've seen. We keep Stoobs running, and then we go up top and we shoot him from the neck from up high.
okay.
As long
I
as we
like.
keep a trap, like holding it still, then I don't think Stoobs would be in that much danger. Of course, I don't want to put you in any danger that you're not comfortable with, Stoobs. If this is something you don't feel safe with,
I'm
obviously.
fine with it.
Takes a drag of a cigarette.
Are you Okay.
Honestly, this isn't the weirdest thing that's happened. Or the most dangerous, so...
Sorry, the rest of us are still new to this.
Live and la vida loca, I guess. Anyways, yeah, I can shift into dog form and move pretty fast. So yeah, I guess I will bamf into my direwolf form and go kind of check out the area to see if there's like a ideal battleground for this.
Sounds good. Yeah, as you kind of climb yourself out of the basement and exit the temple, you see that there is a silhouetted figure on the street who is just hopping towards you.
Oh, buddy.
And
buddy.
you see before you a practice dummy, a sack tied up onto a series of sticks with a bucket for a helmet, a big target on it, and, you know, a couple of stick arms that stick out as well. This indeed is Duncan.
I have to ask, does a very whimsical musical theme start? Maybe called Merry Ground of Life, or...
whatever feels most
Katie.
appropriate happens.
Katie!
I was also going to ask, does Gwendolyn know this person? Because you said training dummy, and
Yes.
so I'm like,
There is a
Hey,
card
Duncan.
in the Went
what's
Duck.
up?
The training dummy definitely has no name, but it's one of those kind of switcheroo cards or absorb damage cards of just
Yeah,
a training dummy.
it's a 0/2 minion with taunt, like literally just there to spam
Just
it. Yep,
to get
yep.
killed. Yes. So yeah,
Oh,
you don't
yeah.
know the name of this person, but you just recognize the form of the training dummy as uncanny.
Nice.
I will run up to him and say, "Hey, are you okay?"
You are currently a giant, very scary dial wolf. So immediately he just kind of like drops to the ground in submission.
Oh, turnip head. Okay, I got. I run over to him and kind of just sniff the bucket, and I'm just like, it's Stoops. How you doing?
Stoops? Is that you?
Yeah. It's a long story.
Yes, I
Listen,
imagine.
we still have to deal with this Colossus thing. So the plan is that you and the others are gonna go on the dragon, and I'm just gonna be on the ground.
That seems to put you in a lot of danger. I don't know how I feel about that, but I suppose you would know best.
Honestly, I'm kind of okay with it.
Might I offer a
it's fine.
suggestion?
Sure.
I have infinite HP.
Okay.
If you need bait, I could potentially assist.
Well, it's kind of following me. It's kind of honed in.
What if I dressed up as you? Who's that? Kind of darts towards the temple.
I don't know if it goes by sight or if it's based around, like, just, you know, a honed code instinct of who you are as a person. Like, if
Yes.
it's...
It's likely looking up your
Yeah.
string ID.
Can
I
you
could
change your string ID?
Help
to-
with that.
Possible, but extremely
Actually.
difficult. With very bad repercussions if it goes badly.
Oh, well.
Which is why I thought maybe dressing up would do it, but
Maybe you could just be a shield and stand in front of her. We could just, like, dangle you over so you can take the first hit.
potentially, yes.
I
I
mean,
mean-
if
I've not seen a lot of combat. I've seen a lot of sharp, pointy things and bludgeoning things and burny things, but I wouldn't really call it combat.
what is the weather looking like? Is there cloud cover?
There's a couple of clouds, but
Clouds?
not completely. You can see the beautiful stars in the night sky.
Okay. Okay. So, but is there enough cloud cover that, because there's no sun, so Sky can't use the sun to hide. Can he use some of the clouds to hide?
Potentially, yeah.
And basically set up kind of like an ambush where I am the bait, and they would kind of get the drop on this thing from above.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Speaking of which, Sky does suddenly appear and slam down onto the ground, sending huge gusts of wind and dust and ash flying about the place. He says, "Creator, I'm glad to see you are alive and well."
Oh, I'm glad to see you too, buddy. Oh man. So we have a plan. How comfortable are you with hiding in general? You know,
I have never done it
You are
before, but I like trying
the
new
dragon.
things.
Okay. So the plan is, and I'll just run through like the general concept. Do you think you can do that?
Yes, absolutely. We shall rain death upon this creature that dares threaten you.
Okay, that's good. That's great. Also, maybe we should have a trap for over here that you can lead it into, so it's not just you running in circles. That does make me uncomfortable. There was a part 2 to my idea, which was, trapping it.
Then you all hear,
Well, the stars say that there is no more time to plan.
Okay. Okay, everybody in the air, and I will start running.
okay, so
Alright.
Chance, you hop on, Gwendolyn, you hop on. This little sort of practice dummy guy sort of tries to hop but can't really do very well and sort of asks for a hand up from one of you.
I'll give him help.
Right.
That's what I do. I
He
help
weighs as
people.
much as a broom and a bucket, so you just kind of boop, put him down. Yep, and yeah, you get ready to take to the sky, leaving
Okay.
Stoops standing in the middle of the street.
Scary.
Okay.
And very soon, as you start to ascend higher and higher and higher, you can see that coming in over the landscape, climbing between two mountains, the Colossus is stalking its way through this place. And you can see immediately, like, it is as the crow flies straight towards where Stoobs is. And it is dragging its massive ornate pillar behind it as well. What does everybody do?
Where is it comparison to us? Is it directly beneath us yet, or is it
No,
still
not yet. It is approaching.
Gwen, you have a lot of impressive cards, and it seems like it isn't random what happens. Do you have anything we can set on the battlefield that...
Not that the stars, of course, could always guide us. I trust in them 100%. I'm not saying that. But I'm not opposed to the idea of something a little bit more, clear cut.
Yes, I see what you mean. I have the dungeon. I want to wait until we know that's a clear
Yes.
shot. But I
Yes.
could use... I have a card called the Vizier. That could let me basically get... Could I get like a little insight into what would be a good advantageous move? Basically like use this to create
Absolutely.
an advantage, like peek a little.
Yeah, go ahead, roll careful to see what you see from the effect of the card, and we'll see what
Okay.
it gives you. This won't be too difficult, so we'll call it a 2.
Okay.
Oh.
I rolled a 0, but I would like to use my stunt because I control the first player token. I get a +2 to acting at the
Interesting.
beginning of an encounter. So I'd like to
I'm
just
not
use that
entirely
stunt.
sure that applies to sort of looking into the future because
Pre-planning.
technically
Oh
nothing's
yeah, I
happened
guess
yet.
that's true.
But
okay.
if you'd like to invoke any other aspect, please feel free to.
You know what? Can I use Unstable World to add a +2 and make it a success? Because I kind of just
Oh.
want to poke it and see what happens because I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, you can.
All right,
Oh,
let's do
no.
it. Let's
Oh,
add 2,
no.
make it a success, and poke the Unstable World.
All right, you gather up some of the unstable energy that is coursing through this world and use it to alter things in your favor. And in doing so, the instability increases by 10 out of 10. That's amazing.
Oh my!
Oh.
Oh.
As you draw this card,
No.
as you draw this card, it is as though you are igniting a giant match through the sky, and it just sends lightning everywhere. The stars
Oh,
above are now
God.
completely covered by these dark red, evil-looking clouds. And on the horizon, you can see the Maya Tempest in the center of the world just goes slightly bigger.
Oh no.
I'm gonna give you a
Oh,
fate
no.
point for doing that. So thank you for that. So you get one more fate point back.
And the instability hasn't reset even after that, even after
No.
the storm has gotten
Ah.
bigger.
Oh no, we still have a bigger consequence. Great. Also the stars are gone, so Chance is freaking out.
Oh boy.
But you succeeded. And in looking
Yay!
into the sort of crystal orb that appears, and the wizened vizier within whispers to you a secret of where to get to most advantageous position. You see an image of the meteor blade itself and of Chance opening her inventory.
Ooh. Ooh, Chance, I think it's gotta be you. You have something. Something that maybe isn't equipped yet.
Something that isn't
Something that has to do with the blade and whatever items you're carrying on. I don't get access to that. I just have the, you know,
right.
these template
Stars are
thing.
gone. Inventory. Stars are gone. Right. 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 That takes her like a couple tries because like that like programming just kind of glitches out, and she keeps looking up, down, up, and then it just manages to like barrel through it and get the inventory opened.
When you open your inventory and you sort of the world freezes as you are in your menu, and you take a closer look at the meteor blade, you see that there's a little sort of exclamation point next to it, and when you hover over it, it says, "Chance's aspect unlocked."
What does that mean?
And
Ooh.
I don't know how this kind of comes across in the game itself, but for us, it basically on the hilt of the blade, a sort of slot appears that a card can be inserted into.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
So
like,
not
well,
only does this thing fire meteors, but it could potentially be empowered by one of your cards if used cleverly enough.
can I like insert one in now before his gets here?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And if you would
okay.
like to invoke Unstable World just for fun, you could do that too.
No, Thomas, I would not like that.
What happens if it goes above 30?
We've had it really high before. It was really bad. We got a very scary monster that was perma-killing people.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
how
I-
Gloommarine died.
Yeah. None of us know that though. Literally anyone who was there for that isn't
That's
here
very
right
true.
Yep.
I know that, but that's just because the player knows.
Right.
This I think is a good one. Is it good one? No, it's reverse. Literally, I only roll reverse on this. Is this thing okay?
It's possible.
You are either surrounded by or embodying an aspect that represents all the negatives of a determined bold character. What internal insecurities are making you act jealous, angry, or resentful?
Wow, big question. What kind of tags does it have?
Selfishness, jealousy, demanding.
Oh boy.
That's
Oh my
deep.
I think when you
God.
insert this card into the blade, a fragment of it springs to life, and it fills you with the desperate need to get the killing blow on this creature, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But if you don't get the killing blow, a bad thing could happen.
This is mine. I will end it. No one else will take it from me. The stars have made their decision.
And I think when she says the stars have made their decision, Gwendolyn's like, yeah, because that's the voice line that the Chance Orchard does at the beginning of the card game. The stars have made their decision, and I'm just like,
Like, she says
oh,
something
it's
very
real.
cool, and you just fangirl for a little bit. That's
Yeah.
so funny.
Oh, I'm so proud.
That's amazing. Yes, during this time, the Colossus has been stomping ever closer and closer and closer to Startown. You have been soaring up, and now there's a way more cloud cover, so that's at least one nice advantage for the two of you. And you disappear from sight. Stoobs, you are on the ground, and you see this thing, now that it has like a more open field towards you, sort of starts leaning down a little bit, and then sticks a foot out and just starts sprinting as fast as it can at you. What do you do?
Okay, so I know the layout of the town pretty well. I don't know its current state, but using my knowledge of the town map and how everything is put together, I would like to kind of... I assume this thing cannot change directions easily.
From what you've seen, it's fallen over a few times.
Okay. So, it's... What is it that you have to, like, zigzag with? Is it crocodiles or something? I can't remember. But, so basically, I kind of want to get it to start moving at full speed into an area where when I do a quick turn, it is going to get stuck or stumble or something.
Just to buy yourself some more time. And not
yes.
get killed by it. Sounds good.
Yes.
This sounds like you need very precise timing, so let's roll careful and see what becomes of that. And we'll just contest that against one of its attacks.
So that is a 1, and I am
four.
going to invoke werewolf because I have some good speed going.
Okay, sounds
So
good.
that's another fate point.
All right.
So I am down to
By the
0.
way, since you all found the meteor blade, you can all get a +1 bonus fate point.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, okay. So then I would also like to invoke...
You can only invoke one thing per roll.
Oh, even if one is an aspect and one is a stunt?
Oh, sorry, I didn't really know you were doing a stun. No, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so the aspect is werewolf, and then I'm going to... Oh, wait, I don't need a fate point to invoke a stunt.
Correct.
I would like to use... Of course, none of these are for careful, so this is all clever based. So maybe I can't do this.
You can do a reroll with your werewolf at the very least.
Oh Jesus. Okay, yeah. So I will pray.
Oh,
3.
so close. I think you do a very good job, and it does kind of like go tumbling down as you're running around this, the town. One thing that really gets to you is that the buildings keep transpositioning between their burnt-out husk forms and their original nicely built forms, thanks to the instability in the area.
No.
And it's just flashing with all these sort of weird memories. And that distracts you just enough so that as it kind of like skids and falls down as you do a zigzag, the sheer sort of earth it is churning up from this does kind of hit into you, and you take 1 stress.
Okay.
Meanwhile, in the sky, what's happening? Duncan is just like, I've never been up so high! Ah! Ah!
Silence yourself, the stars are watching.
Oh,
I'm gonna jump off and holding the new sword. I'm gonna very flashily do a
that
spin
is
and
flashy.
just completely just charge at it, attacking the back of its neck.
Incredible. Go ahead, roll flashy.
Okay.
Oh, I'll give you a contextual +2 to this, thanks to the jealousy inside the blade right now.
Oh, okay, that's great because that makes it a 3.
That makes it a
I am
3.
going to also
Yeah.
use my high concept, an orphan abandoned by all but the fates themselves, to get another plus.
What's the thinking there?
She's following the stars, the fates. She's doing
Okay.
what we told her to.
She's putting a lot of trust in them right now, that's for sure. Okay, yeah, sounds good. Alright, so go ahead and spend that, and that gets a total of 5, is that?
Yes.
Which is exactly enough that you need to overcome the weak point threshold. So before Gwendolyn, you can really do much more. Suddenly, Chance is gone, and I think Sky is just like, wait. Did she mean to do that? Should I catch her? And she's falling through the sky. She looks like a shooting star with the blade glistening in the light, kind of reflecting the lightning around this place as well. And as this creature stands back up, eyes red and burning, looking to charge towards you, Stoobs, suddenly there is just a... and its eyes go wide and then fade. And Chance, you are spewed with some kind of brackish black liquid that just sprays out of this thing and completely covers you. But you spring
it's
backwards.
really awkward because she immediately like goes into like the post dialogue that happens. So there's not even like a notice of all this gross stuff. So she's just
Yeah.
like a cool line while looking like really lame
Yeah.
and disgusting. Like, my apologies, I have stolen your face. But like all of it's happening while like gross muck is hitting her in the face, so you can't even hear the words. It's very muffled. So
Love
rather
it.
than getting like this cool dialogue, it's just like.
That's a hilarious image. Yeah, and this thing slumps into the ground. It is thoroughly defeated. I'll say that since you defeated it with the aspect you put into the blade, you'll get a fate point back, Chance. So good work there. You see your little XP bar just goes from killing a Colossus.
I got the mud in my mouth. I got the muck in my mouth.
Gwendolyn's just gonna be like, there, and comes over and tries to like clean you up a little bit.
Fortunately, like, the concept of dirt isn't really a thing in this game, so it's very easy to very quickly kind of just like scrape it off of her.
Just the like, dramatic dusting off of shoulders, and then you're magically just clean. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
That's better. Ugh. Both of the fights I've been in so far have been extraordinarily disgusting. This is lower on that scale than the first one, but yeah.
You can
Thank
see
you.
Duncan throws up his little stick arms and goes, "That was incredible! You truly are a Lightsworn hero!"
Thank you, Gwen. You have been inspiring me from the start when I was doubting myself. This is your win too. Also, you too, Stoops, since you were down here running for your life, and that's like a really important part.
Feels a little condescending, but thank you.
I was trying to be nice.
It's okay. We gotta work on the delivery a little
I
bit.
have a really low empathy stat. I didn't think it was important.
That's okay.
Yes,
I
we-
dumped combat, as you can see, because, yeah. Normally not really my thing. And then she just kind of gestures to the broken tutorial frame windows that she's still carrying around.
You can see that Duncan sort of motions towards you, Stoobs, and says, "Right, well, we really need to get out of here. This place isn't safe. They're watching us. They're watching the chat. I have incredible news for you, but I can't tell you here. We need to go."
Okay, on the dragon, everyone? Maybe? Yeah, let's get on the dragon.
I'll just
Help.
guide Sky down to where everybody is, because I haven't really done anything except fly around right now and just be like, hop aboard.
Yeah, yeah. You pick everybody up, and Sky immediately takes to the air, and you are now entered. You now enter the sort of overworld travel view where it's just a bunch of little chibi pictures of you flashing on the map, just moving around in squares. So yeah, as you're up in the sky, Duncan turns to you, Stoobs, I guess all of you at once, and says, I may have discovered something. I believe that there is something, well, like we said, there's something targeting you, Stoobs, something from the Maya, something semi-sentient. I believe there is a single person at the center of that storm, and they are the cause of all of this. And I believe they also have access to the internet, just like you and I do.
A single person? What?
Yes.
All of this?
What was that?
So wait, someone's purposely doing all of this then?
I believe so. Every single motion calculated, which is a frightening thing to think about.
Okay, well then we just kill them. That's easy.
It isn't, I'm afraid. It means going to the center of that, and that thing's going to tear apart anything unless we can find a way to stop it. Which I believe is why you're getting the orbs, right?
Still don't understand how the orbs are going to function to stop this thing or negate the effects of the mire, but yes, we still have one more to go.
I think it lies in the potential that these orbs have. In terms of the game, they are the most powerful relics, and therefore they can convey very powerful effects if we use them for other means. So if you dive into the code, I believe that these orbs will give you an extra boost. A very substantial one at that. But of course, we need all 7 of them before we can do anything.
How many have you collected?
Okay. What will happen to the orbs when we do this?
I have no idea. This is unprecedented.
Okay. Okay. Well, the last orb, as far as I'm aware, is with the fairies on the Dread ship.
The fairies have the dread ship now?
Yes, so there's this whole thing where Fairy Island was destroyed, and so they kind of lost their homeland, so they've been living on the Dread ship as pirates.
Technically, the timeline is they became pirates before the island got destroyed.
Oh,
They were just like, screw
mind.
this.
Yeah, so, they're just kind of hanging out now.
Will they be open to handing over an orb if it's on the dread ship?
I mean, if they know that it's gonna keep the mire from eating everything in existence, I think so. I mean, they were pretty willing to help the last time, but that was when Rosalind was here, and she is not with us anymore. So, I don't know how willing they'll be to listen to me versus her.
I'm sure they would like news that one of their own has fallen. Even giving them that is something a hero should do.
That's very true.
And then if we have to, we can just take the orb anyway. We'll figure it out.
No, we can't. We can't just do this. This is complicated because the orbs are technically like fairy creations, and
Right, but I thought stealing was bad too. The star said so, right? But then we came to the conclusion that, hey, it's kind of cool.
there's a difference between taking something that no one is using that has been buried in a temple versus stealing something from people who are very much alive.
Feel like they won't be alive if the mire attacks, right? Right?
Yes, which is why I am really hoping that they would cooperate.
So either way, this is a similar situation where the orbs are supposed to go to the heroes. I'm one of the heroes. We should take it. Don't you think so, Gwen? Come, you were on the side of stealing before.
Well, I had a key. Do I actually like know anything about these orbs? Because also me, the player, aside from what we just said, I have no idea.
I don't think your character have any reason to know about the orbs.
Okay.
Like, you might just know, like, it's a fantasy MacGuffin kind of situation.
Sure.
'Cause
Okay.
you know.
This is really a little bit outside of my wheelhouse, I'm afraid. That's all main quest stuff. Yeah, didn't really go over that when I learned how to teach this game. But I mean, gosh, if we need to travel somewhere, we've got Sky. I guess the best I could do is try and just maybe imbue you with a little bit of my extra powers. That could help.
Yeah.
Basically, like, what I want to do is try and give them just a little boost from a card from my game.
Okay.
That will hopefully, like, I don't know what you want this to be mechanically, but that will like help them on their journey, because I've definitely gotten to the I have no more I can teach you. Now get out there and enjoy playing the game of Went. So I'm just like, well, looks like you have everything you need.
Do you know what you
So-
get for doing all the tutorials? You usually get some kind of currency to spend in the game store to get more booster packs or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So I wanna, I'll technically the booster packs are supposed to be random, but I'll give you some special rares. And for chance, a star card, because
Yeah.
that's what you follow. That is how you have been able to be such a hero, is making the most of destiny and fate, regardless of how bad the situation really seems. And for Stoobs, you get the balance card, because you began as a sign dog someone that was just a very humble origins who has been entrusted with great power and great responsibility within this world. And it's both for you to find some balance within yourself and for you to bring that to Phantasria, because we kind of need that now. Don't tell him that I did that not randomly. I don't want to get in trouble. But it's my game. Whatever. I can do what I want.
There's someone who like, do you have a manager?
I think I might be the manager of this game. Literally nobody has come here except for the two of you into that tavern, so I think I'm in charge.
Yeah, so that sounds great.
Yeah.
You can just do what you want.
I can
Thomas,
be my own
why
boss.
did you just roll? Why did you just roll?
Well, I feel like giving non-random cards adds to the instability just an insy bit.
Oh.
Eh,
Sorry. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
They'll help you. They'll help you further down the line. That's about all I can really do because I don't know about these orbs or fairies and pirates and.
Honestly, I never know what's going on either. I just kind of nod along and wait till the cutscene ends. They don't like it if you skip the dialogue.
Yeah, about that. We do have, we put a lot of work into teaching you how to play these things. So just, a tip from me and my friends, my coworkers. Let them get to the end of the dialogue before you skip through the tutorial. It makes everybody really sad when you don't want to hear it.
Never has a tutorial been so humanized in anything before.
I know.
Great.
I mean, it's also kind of rude just putting that out there. Anyway.
So since the instability is at 30 out of 20, I think while you're having this very nice sort of heartfelt chat with these two, sort of a parting of ways,
Yep.
that's when the sort of central cyclone of the Maya begins to sort of grow a little bit in the background, and maybe none of you really notice it, but it doesn't stop. Slowly going further and further and further and further. And I think the time where one of you finally notices is when these sort of tendrils of lightning seem to be sort of spewing out of it and just kind of reaching your direction. It's probably Duncan who's the first one who's like just tugging on one of your sleeves, just like, just kind of pointing at it, and these lightning tendrils are just snapping their way towards you, towards all reaches of Phantasria in all directions, and enveloping you like a cage. They appear around you, and they appear around things far off in the horizon that you can't even see, and suddenly you just feel a great pull as you are being dragged, kicking and screaming towards this thing. No longer just an open mouth, but now with the hands to feed itself with as well. What are you all doing as you on the back of this dragon are hurtling towards certain doom?
I mean, screaming and swearing for one thing.
Cool. Yeah. Appropriate.
Man,
I guess.
I'm gonna pull a card.
Oh!
It can't get worse.
Famous last words. Let's see what it is.
Death. The tower.
Hey, all right. Let's find out.
What could it
The
Okay.
devil.
Okay. It's not reversed. The High Priestess. To
Ooh.
direct your will outward, one must also be able to understand one's internal world. The High Priestess is the guardian of the unconscious and beckons the traveler to the world within.
Cool. That sounds great. With that, everybody recovers exactly 12 points worth of consequences, which I believe is all of them.
Yay!
So as you draw this card, a astounding healing light cuts through the lightning, cuts through the tempest, and you all feel yourselves fully restored to absolute full health. Because I rolled the maximum
Amazing.
roll on that, so good work, High Empress.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Priestess. Thank you, Stars.
And I think the blinding light that sort of is emitted by you when you draw this mighty, very powerful card, probably slightly behind the scenes boosted by Gwendolyn, who is just like, she used mana, yes.
Yes.
That's kind of like sends the cage that you're in sundering ever so slightly, giving you an opportunity to fly out of it. And all of you start just hurtling down towards the ocean. And you can see various other cages just being pulled and dragged slowly across these ocean waters and across the sky, trying to devour these things. What are people doing?
Is Sky still with us? Is he free?
Sky is there. He is sort of hurtling upside down a little bit, and he just splashes into the water.
Okay, I'm gonna yell at everyone, keep your legs straight, and I'm gonna get ready for a splashdown.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Not yet. Gwendolyn's really just out of her depth here, so
Sounds
she's
fair.
just like, ah! On the back of the dragon.
With your
Yeah.
frame. Ah.
Exactly.
I think I'm just very serenely falling because, hey, the cards always know. It'll be fine.
Yep. All right. So yes, you all splash into the water, and of course, none of you can swim because that's a very specific mechanic. So you all just start sinking and sinking. Your screen goes dim, your breath very quickly runs out, but Sky is there to sort of swoop you all up and re-emerge back on the surface, where it is now raining with turbulent force everywhere, and these creatures are getting slowly pulled, and just you see one of the cages just entering the mire, and it grows. Another one enters it and grows, and there is just a cascade of lightning all around you. Nowhere seems safe. Nowhere seems like a nice place to retreat to. Everything here is incredibly dangerous. And that's when you see the dread ship emerging over one of the turbulent waves. It is slowly being dragged into the sort of energy of the mire, its gravitational pull, and they are desperately trying to wield their fairy magic to sort of get themselves out of danger, and don't appear to be entirely successful at this moment.
Oh god.
You said that
I am-
this. Go ahead, sorry.
Okay. Can I use my alt in this moment?
Go on to do what?
So presently the ship is being dragged in
Yes.
by the mire. So I don't know how. Oh, it's a reverse effect, so I don't know. See this? It's technically designed for reversing damage. Yeah, I don't know how to use it. I don't know how I would use it.
That's fair.
Okay, then I would do something equally stupid. I would like to delve into the code.
Okay.
Basically, I want to make it so that there's almost like a protective bubble around us, the ship, kind of a thing. Or maybe even like pull us into like a little pocket dimension, something
That's-
that will separate it from the mire.
Yeah, that's all very extreme stuff. Something you could do for a similar effect
Yeah.
is basically take all those entities that you can sort of picture in these brief moments and just set their X coordinate to something else.
Okay. Yes. We will do that.
Okay. All right.
Um.
This will be pretty tricky because you're affecting a lot of things. So go ahead and roll clever, and we'll see how it goes.
Can I ask Duncan for help?
Yes, Duncan can absolutely help. He's sort of screaming this entire time, mostly out of concern for all of you, because he, is just a practice dummy. If he gets eaten by the Mai, he's kind of okay with that. But you are all grand heroes, and you desperately are, vital for the survival of this world. So he's like, no, run, save yourselves. But yes, he can help you out in this moment. He looks at you as if to protest for a second, and then realizes the situation. It's like there's no point like raising concerns right now. It's this or nothing. So yes, he can give you a +2 to this roll.
Okay.
As you delve into the code and you add to the adder scripts, let's see what happens. 4 for a total of 6.
Total.
Nice.
6 total.
I am going
Okay.
to invoke against you Unstable World to make you roll
I'm
again.
going to invoke it against you.
I'll take the instability. Sounds
My
great.
last 8 points.
What if we don't do?
It doesn't cost you a fate point to invoke because it's free. It's
Oh,
Unstable World. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But thank you very much for the instability.
This is
Juicy, juicy.
Oh my god.
so scared.
Okay, so the instability is now at 38. I'm now going to change Unstable World into something else. Da-da-da. Let me just change this here. So instability is now at 38 out of 20. And Unstable World, we're going to call it this. As the entire world seems to shift and bend and break. If there was ever something that you think was the end of all existence, this would probably be it. And it won't let me change. There we go. Boop. Which you can all still freely invoke critically unstable world if you would like.
Oh my god.
To get some weirdness in your favor. At this moment, you got a total of 6, is that right?
Yeah?
Okay. When you do this, Stoobs, you jettison the entire sort of entities that you selected directly westward, away from the Maya. You weren't able to necessarily set the coordinate, but you were able to add a script that basically kept adding to their x-coordinate, or subtracting, I should say. And suddenly, the lot of you and the dreadship and those on the dreadship are suddenly just gliding across the landscape with great speed. You see various tendrils trying to snatch at you, and some of them even do grab you, but they find the force that is acting here too impossible to fight against, so powerful was your roll. And you are all now just hurtling westward through this ocean until you kind of escape the worst of the storm, away from the grasping tendrils, and in a much more serene, calm area of ocean. You can see some land in the distance, but you're still kind of in the middle of stuff here. And looking over to the east, you just see a raging, terrifying storm with the cyclone slowly growing with every second.
That's a problem.
Yep. Yep.
That's an understatement. I say as like there's just coming out of my nose.
Duncan's like, Stoops, that was incredible.
Yeah, nice save there.
We might have overstretched a little bit.
You're so powerful.
Yeah. Stoops is like a god.
Yeah.
We're never doing that again. We need to end this. We need to end this like now. Yesterday. We need to end this yesterday. Okay. Calm. Think of calm things. All right. Is everyone okay?
Is it still like the storm raining thing where we are, or is that
It is
just
no
far,
longer
far
raining
away?
where you are. It is.
Okay.
That's further to the east.
Okay. Because I was like, I had an idea to help with the rainstorm.
Unless
but
you
we're
want a
not
bit
there
of rain
anymore.
here.
No, that's okay. I was just gonna try and I was gonna see if I could like patch up some of what we just ripped into the world
Oh.
by counteracting that rainstorm, but we're not really there anymore, so it's all good. Yeah.
If you want to go back, I can reload our
No,
save
you know,
file and we can go through all of that again.
I owe the tutorial rabbit from that match 3 game a movie night. He had a really rough day at work and people kept skipping his dialogue, so I promised I would go back and treat him to just a nice relaxation night. So
Well, brave we're all alive. And that, for one, is a blessing of the stars.
Yeah.
And a blessing of that meteor blade, don't forget.
Yeah!
That's...
Yeah!
Yeah.
And of Stoop's very insane god skills.
It's way cooler in 3D. Agreed.
Oh boy. Is the dread ship okay?
Relatively, it is okay. It is not currently sinking. You can see that there's a number of ferries sort of on the deck scrambling desperately. It's not entirely clear what they're doing.
Have they noticed us?
They have a lot on their plate right now. I don't think they have.
Wow, they haven't noticed the entire dragon that's next to
I mean, he's like on the water. He's just bobbing.
Loch Ness
I
monster.
mean, if they haven't noticed us, we could just, go and grab the oar.
Not exactly. Would I know what we have to trigger in order to get
Nope.
to the orb? Okay.
Unless you would like to look it up.
We can't
Kids-
afford that instability.
No.
Mm.
No, we cannot. I will go talk to them. I
Okay.
will take the first move since they are familiar vaguely with me.
Alright, so you just want to kind of like float Sky up to the side and just start a parlay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see the familiar sort of bright purple gothic sort of pirate outfit being worn by Captain Foxglove with her 2 eye patches over the same eye. And she sort of looks over to you, slightly bedraggled after that whole thing that just happened and that is threatening to still happen very soon from now. And she kind of looks over to you and she says, "What do you want?"
Hey, it's me, Stoobs. I know I look a little
Stoobs?
different. Yeah.
Where's Roz?
I have bad news. We were sealing a rift bleed and there was an accident and she didn't make it.
She's dead?
Yes.
You can see the captain kind of leans back a little bit and sort of whispers something to the nearby lieutenant. And then they say, "Well, we're getting out of here. This game world's collapsing in on itself and we want nothing of it. We've had some luck raiding some other worlds. We'll see if our luck can carry through there."
If you leave, it's just going to follow you. We have a plan that will stop it, but we need your help.
You think you can stop that?
Yes.
Couldn't keep Roz alive though, could you?
Neither could you.
She was off adventuring with you what she wanted to do.
You think you could have kept her safer?
I know we could have. Every one of my crew is still alive. And I'm gonna keep them that way once we leave this place.
You're just gonna die somewhere else.
Well, guess we'll die running.
You think that that is what Rosalind would have wanted? She died trying to stop this thing. You're gonna let that be in vain. You're gonna let us all die along with her.
What do you need? What do you want? How are you gonna stop that?
We need the last elemental orb.
Of course you need an elemental orb. How typical. There's only one way to get an elemental
Listen.
orb on this ship.
How?
The captain of this ship drops it when they die.
But technically speaking, you're not the captain.
It's hard to say.
How did you take captaincy of this thing?
Bunch
What
of
happened to the original captain?
There were some undead blighters on it. We got rid of them. And when we did, we made sure they didn't come back.
So you just stopped them from respawning.
Yep. Blocked them off good.
So, did you kill the captain?
We did. Doesn't look like we had the special source to drop the orb, though.
So then maybe that captain still has it. They would respawn if they weren't killed by the Lightsworn heroes.
Or maybe the ship recognizes me as the captain.
There is a way that I can get the orb and you would survive. I think. Could kill me instead. I could look at your code.
You can do that?
It might... Yeah, it's, you know how we were just zipping through the water?
That was
me.
you?
Yeah, I've modified your X coordinates.
Okay. Maybe you can stop this thing.
Okay. So I guess we have two options here. Either we can have the old crew of the ship respawn. You can undo whatever you did before. I wouldn't ask any of you to be in the line of fire for that. You can wait on Sky, and I kind of pat his head until the fight is done. And we'll take the orb. You can have your ship. We can leave. Or, and again, this is very risky because I gesture to the vortex in front of us. That's happening. And each time I alter the code, it gets more unstable. So I could just reach into the code and get the orb, and it could break the world a little more, or it could just completely obliterate me as well.
If we lose this ship, we lose our only escape route out of this place.
You lose this ship and we get the orb, you're not going to need a ship.
Can you promise
I mean,
that?
if you wanted one, I can give you a 98% chance of success.
Go ahead and roll, Stoobs.
Oh.
I think this is a careful negotiation.
I would also like to sweeten the deal a little bit for them.
Sure.
If they help us with this, after we solve this, assuming that we come out of it okay and we still have the orbs, the fairies can have them all back.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll. You're careful. And then we'll say +2 from that sweetened deal. Yeah, okay. Let's see how this goes. Not much on the line. Just everything.
Okay, that's 4.
So a 6
plus
total.
the 2, yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I need a 10 to accomplish this.
It's definitely a hard one. I'm just thinking what would be really appropriate. I like tallying up in my mind like every difficulty modifier added to this situation, and taken away from it as well.
And if it would, I give them Raz's wings.
Ooh, okay. I don't think they're super into that necessarily. Well, it's something to
I mean,
remember
it's
her
like
by.
her last remains.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a
that's why I didn't use them.
yeah, it's a bit of a painful reminder that all fairies just amount to alchemy components in this game, which is not great.
Like, they can give her a burial. They can,
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah. I think this is what happens, and then we will end it. We'll end it here. Unless there's anything like Gwen
God.
and Chance would like to do during this extreme tense standoff.
Just keep piloting the dragon, that's
Yeah.
all.
I have enough awareness to be like, nope, that is not a situation where I need to be.
Yeah. Incidentally, Sky's having a great time. He's like, "Oh, I can swim. This is great."
You hear
Um,
playing cards like in the background. Just thinking of them,
Like Duncan is there, just like. Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah. So okay, here's what happens. I think that there is. Boy, I don't think they necessarily have enough belief in your abilities because Roz is dead. To sort of take your word that you can guarantee saving them from this. So they're going to have some kind of escape route, which means the ship. So I think what they agree to is going to be... Ugh. Is this a... I think... which is... Sorry, this is just really hard to think of what they would do right now. I think they would... I think Foxglove would be willing to sacrifice herself.
Oh my god. Oh lordy.
To potentially drop the last orb.
Maybe we just like kidnap like a chaos soldier and make them captain? And kill them instead? Why are we gonna kill Foxglove?
You look to the east and see you're rapidly running out of time.
Okay. Question.
Yes.
If they don't die, like, we don't know what happens to a person when they die on a roof. I mean, like, quote unquote.
Right.
So I, as students, do not know what happens to someone when they die in the roof bleed or whether or not they can come back.
Yes.
Wait. I still have the thing.
I think
I still have the thing that can bring someone back from the dead. Because we never used it on the ice giant.
That's very true.
No. Oh, okay.
Okay, when they tell me this, I am like sitting there on Sky. I am just like, and I'm like, what if you wouldn't die? Not permanently.
They all kind of like cock their heads at once. Huh?
And I pull out the little like glowing orb, and I'm just like, this can bring something back to life from the dead.
They sort of look very earnestly at that, and Captain Foxglove kind of looks down and goes, "You would spend something that powerful on me?"
Rosalind was my family. She was the only thing that I had in this world. And you're her family. And honoring her memory means honoring you. So yeah.
I mean, I'm all for it. I'm very happy to come back alive again. Let's do this.
Are you sure about this?
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen?
I mean, it might not work. I don't know how this thing works. Do you have a preference for how it happens?
She kind of looks at you and says, "Oh, cannon. Definitely cannon." And she says, "Buccaneers, get ready." As the various fairies on this ship get ready to ignite several cannon blasts directly at point blank range as
I just don't. They're
be like, don't worry. If we have to, we can just reconstitute her from the summer pirate event. It's okay.
What? Okay.
Oh wait, so like the fairies were in the summer pirate event, so they're all using alt skins. That makes sense.
Okay.
Bingo.
And then you all just hear a series of
Oh boy. I get the little like glowing ball ready just to be like right into.
and kablamo! Foxglove is subject to a salvo of cannon blasts at point blank range. She goes out cackling, as any mad pirate captain would. And now I'm going to roll on the loot table to see if she drops loot.
Please, 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 please. Oh god, please.
Let's see. What are the odds of this?
Is there anything is there anything that we could do?
Yeah,
For the
like,
loot
we
table,
can
I don't think so. It's an instant kind of thing.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna say below 50, no orb. Above 50, orb. Including 50. 50 and above, orb.
Ah!
So here we go,
I
everybody.
hate this, but okay.
Let's see if Captain Foxglove drops an orb. And that's where we'll end tonight's episode of Awakened Pixels, everybody. We will find out next time what happens and what becomes of that. Of course.
Oh
Thomas.
man.
Ain't I
I
a
can't
stinker.
believe the cliffhanger was a random loot. God.
Indeed.
Oh.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us for tonight's episode of Awakened Pixels. A huge thanks to Nymeria for joining us and playing the role of Gwendolyn. What an absolute wonderful character you graced us with. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, absolutely. Any plugs or messages anybody would like to say before we leave?
I have one real quick. Just because the card game and everything that Gwendolyn is from is completely made up, but the cards are real, and so I wanted to shout out the artist of the cards. This is done by Micro Comet Illustrations. His name is Ian, and this is his deck of many things from D&D. So I'll put a link to it on my Twitter in case anybody wants to see. But I was gifted these cards by a friend. And when I decided to make a card game character for this, I was like, these are going to be her cards because they're beautiful
They
and
are
gorgeous.
so gorgeous,
So,
yes.
thanks for making the cards.
Yeah. Anybody else? Still recovering
I'm
from
a little rattled by that.
Yeah, I
ending.
can't really focus because
It's fair. It's fair.
a lot just happened. But have a good day, everyone.
Yeah. Have a good
Stay
day. everybody.
safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Go outside.
Some fresh air.
Exercise for at least 22 minutes.
Look at the
And
stars.
don't skip the tutorial dialogues.
Don't
Make my day.
Don't make a tutorial bunny cry today.
No.
Wonderful. Our fantastic beeps and boops tonight were provided by raw music from the album The Black Dot, from Visager from the album Song from an Unmade World and Songs from an Unmade World 2, Eric Skiff from the album Resistor Anthems, and that is all from Free Music Archive under the license CCBY. Thank you to them for that awesome stuff. That's all I've got. So, thanks everybody for joining us. We will be back next week for another guest and another episode of Awakened Pixels. Don't miss it, because it's gonna be a big one. Alright, take care, everybody. Good night.